back, but still, easily one of the more impressive performances of the season from Stephanie White and company.
Yeah, I think if anybody is complaining after last night, it's the perfect litmus test to see how sane you are. If you're complaining about rotations, who got the ball, who touched the ball, Caitlin Clark's minutes, things like that, you got to relax. That was an absolute beatdown. And I get that the Aces were coming off of a back-to-back of their own, but that was more, I thought, than just a fatigue loss for the Aces. And while Kelsey Mitchell led the team in scoring, I thought the best player on the floor yesterday was Aaliyah Boston, because not only did she finish with a double-double, 19 and 11, she made the four-time MVP look regular, look average at certain points throughout that game. Now, to be fair, Asia Wilson still got hers numerically, 20 points, 12 rebounds, but she shot 9 for 23 from the field, and the primary defender was Aaliyah Boston.
Mark, you UFC guy?
No, not really.
Any interest in Mr. McGregor on Saturday night?
No, and again, that is why I fell for the Ronda Rousey comeback. That what was it, a few months ago, and the McGregor stuff on Saturday. I'm like, this is why I will never pay for a UFC fight, because look what you could get. All that money, all that time, staying up late. Look how that went.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham had more ring time than Conor, right? Unfortunately, it looked like he blew his knee out. That was rough.
Yeah, that was not good.
But
not
also,
good at all.
isn't he shouldn't he be done doing this? Why does he keep
I feel like
First
this
fight
is
in
like
a handful of years,
I feel
right?
like this is like his fifth comeback. We're like,
Yeah,
he's
he's
done, he's
37.
banned, and now he's back again.
Mixed martial arts. I don't know how many 37-year-old mixed martial
But that was
artists
obviously
are
a big
good.
deal for Sophie Cunningham. I'm not uber familiar with the
Yeah.
UFC world.
So shout out to Tony East for asking the question. He posted it on social media yesterday, and she explained that she got that opportunity because she's friends with Dana White. And so it sounded like it came together pretty fast, as in she went to the match or whatever you want to call it and saw him and jokingly said, "Hey, I want to be one of the ring girls." And he said, "All right, well, you're up." And she was like, "Are you you're serious?" Like, "Yes." And so she went and did it.
Some proverb there about you'll never receive anything you don't ask for.
There you go. Closed mouths don't get fed, baby.
Look at that. So, yes, very short-lived for Conor McGregor in the ring. But Sophie Cunningham that Saturday night, and again, she shot, really when the Aces made a little bit of that run in the third quarter, it was her that kind of came off the bench and responded again with some big time shots.
She's shooting it so well, Kevin.
So 3-1 on the road trip for the Fever. Back Wednesday, back-to-back coming up this weekend at home. And then remember, we are approaching the All-Star break. And just to keep an eye out, it doesn't happen until later in the season, but we'll take a break for the FIBA World Cup. It's kind of unusual. It's pretty late in the season, that next break that will occur for the W here. So Caitlin Clark seemed hopeful that come Wednesday that maybe the minutes restriction, which again was a little bit longer last night, her spurts were a little bit more in the handful of minutes versus the 3-ish minutes the other night. Kind of hoping that will subside from her. So, a night when you score 109, and I didn't think Caitlin Clark was otherworldly by any means, just goes to show you the potency of what the Fever has. So they will be back on their home floor coming up on Wednesday evening. Have you caught any of Braden Smith in the Summer League?
I did. I thought his second game was a lot better than his first game, and I usually try not to overreact to the college player's first Summer League game, mainly because of the physicality, the speed, and him being a smaller guard. But I thought he looked more like the Braden Smith we're typically used to seeing in that second game, and so I thought he settled in rather fine.
Yeah, I thought he quarterbacked it really well the other day. I think, and this is a very obvious situation with Braden Smith, but he is going to have to be some sort of consistent mid-range and or three-point shooter to survive. He was so good at Purdue with that kind of that fadeaway 15-footer, 10-footer at times. It's, how he would create space, and he hit a huge shot in their comeback on Saturday. That was kind of reminiscent of some of those plays we saw at Purdue. So to me, that's going to be vital for him. But yeah, much better game 2 than he was in game 1. So 4:30 today for the Pacers. They'll play again on Wednesday. Sometimes you do see in Summer League, some of these draft picks will exit early. I don't think really anyone on the Pacers roster has got the clout or the status to be stopping their play out in Vegas. Braden Smith is included in that category. So I would assume he continues to play out there, and really the others, Jalen Slauson, Talon Peter, I don't even know who else would fall into that category out there. Boy, Caleb Wilson, Mark.
Oh boy,
Bulls fans pretty excited about that.
they're getting
right?
a hot sweat going after watching that.
35 and 7 threes, I believe.
Shut him
in his
down.
First game.
He's good. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Don't need to see anything else.
Yeah.
I will say the top 4 picks, and again, just twisting a knife here on this Monday morning, they have looked good in Summer League, all of them. So this could be a pretty special draft class.
Curious when you say top 4, we are down to 4 in the World Cup. It is 1 through 4 in the world. Do you wish we had a little more underdog amongst the 4? Or are you a sports fan of, I want to see the best on the best stage?
Well, to your point, it does have a little bit of that feel of this is the NCAA tournament and all the Cinderellas are gone. And usually at the end, we always say there's like blue bloods left, like the same teams are usually in the mix. But I don't mind it, Kevin, because from what I heard on the broadcast the other day, I guess this is the first time that the top 4 ranked teams actually made it to the World Cup semifinals in the same year. So it's a rarity. It's kind of crazy that it happened this way. And the drama to get there has been fantastic to me. I mean, Argentina, they were dead until Messi and company said no. So I think I'm good with it. How about you, Mark? You're more of our soccer guy.
Yeah, I don't mind the heavy hitters because, I mean, I love upsets and everything. I feel like you kind of got that in the group stage and a couple of the knockout stage rounds. But now that you're down to the Final Four, you're like, I'd like to see the big boys and see who comes out swinging. I think each matchup is fantastic, and I think whatever final we end up getting is going to be a very good one.
Yeah, I think we were kind of debating a little bit last week, could you have Norway, as that storyline there, but.
Well, you could have. Somebody didn't pass the ball if you saw that play.
Well, yes, but I also think England was a superior team, throughout that match there.
But you can't deny Erling Haaland. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Erling Haaland, come on, man. Like, pass the ball.
Argentina, I thought, they've really been the team that when you look at it, they've just played with so much fire, and yet when it's all said and done, they're the ones that have continued to advance throughout this tournament. There's been several points where you feel like, oh boy, is the defending champ about to get ousted? So they will play on Wednesday. It's them and England on Wednesday. It's France and Spain Tuesday. Both of those are afternoon kicks, 3 o'clock Tuesday and Wednesday, and our finale will be coming up on Sunday here in the World Cup. So we will keep you abreast of that. Mark, did I eat the mushroom twice here on this Monday morning? Does that mean when you shrink
Please explain.
on the YouTube?
Oh, you're going in and out. Yeah, I have to look at your camera at the break.
Does that mean you've had the mushroom
You
twice?
talked about eating mushrooms. I was like, oh, where
I
are we
was
going with
wondering.
this?
I was like, what journey did you go on this weekend?
Well, anything to get the week started on the right foot, right?
Yeah, you're kind of going in and out. I'm not sure what's going on. Your camera has a lot. It might have been
That's usually what typically happens when you
I'm
take
trying
the
to go with the
mushroom.
Mario theme here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Weren't you dressed as Bowser before? Who'd you go as for Halloween? Weren't you a Mario character?
Usually I'm Bacon, Kevin Bacon.
Oh, maybe your kids went as Mario characters. Then is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, we were a big. By the way, we did venture to Toy Story 5, Mark.
And
I'm not gonna lie, I got a tad emotional.
Oh, nice.
Tell
Okay.
me. Tell
I gotta
me.
go check this movie out then.
Kids
all
liked
y'all
it?
keep saying it's fire.
Kids did. Yeah. Kids were locked in. Yeah, we had a little Toy Story 4 into Toy Story 5, which I think really helped. Nellie Bowen was excellent in the movie, so that was
First one?
very appreciative. Yes, first one for her.
Let's
so,
go,
Yeah,
Nellie.
she was great. We're in the nice Mark. You remember the old puff stage where it's like they can just eat a bunch of little cereal puffs?
Yeah, the yogurt bar puffs or whatever.
Gosh, they're like gold. I'm
Oh,
like,
I
just
know.
have 1,000 of those.
Now watch out for the diapers afterwards. But those,
Hey.
they wolf them down.
If that keeps them calm, by all means, eat away on that. So yes, we had a Saturday here. That was kind of a rainy day, so it was a perfect little Toy Story 5 action for us here. Tonight we have the home run derby from Philadelphia. We got 2 Phillies. Am I seeing this right? Schwarber and Bryce Harper.
That's what we got. Yeah. Usually you get the lone representative, but Philly's going double dip.
Which I always like a little, home field storyline here with the home run derby. So that'll be tonight in Philly again. We're not going any clock anymore. We're going just with swings on this. So we have reached the MLB All-Star break. I didn't realize Wilson Contreras, Mark, was still doing his thing.
I know. He's tearing it up in Boston right now.
So he has got the longest odds of anybody here in the home run derby, but you'll get that tonight. And again, World Cup semifinals coming up Tuesday and Wednesday Fever back in action on Wednesday. Do you watch the ESPYS at all?
I do. I do like the ESPYs because I think it reminds me of the sports events that I might have forgot about throughout a calendar year. So I enjoy it. Do
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I think I'm more an ESPYS person than not. I usually always enjoy kind of the opening monologue. I tend to laugh, relatively hard at that. But yeah, I was kind of scrolling through some of the things I didn't, I kind of forgotten that I'm like, oh yeah, in the last calendar year, like Indiana's football team is going to be up for some of these
Yeah, best team.
awards.
Gotta
And
be.
I was looking for best coach. I guess they don't have it anymore. I'm like, to me, Kurt Signetti would win that like going away.
Oh, for sure. Like you
But
said, he is the face of that program.
they don't I guess have that award here
Oh, I'm
anymore.
sure he's
But
very upset about
yeah,
that.
best team Indiana is up for that. I do think sometimes when you have the ESPYS, a bummer for a team like Indiana would be if you fall like on an Olympic year, like USA Hockey is going to win best team, right?
They would have to, yeah.
It's just
Respectfully.
when you fall in like those every 4 year cadences.
Yeah.
Same thing for like best athlete. If like, oh yeah, wow, Michael Phelps won 8 gold medals. Come back next year and do your sport. Usain Bolt sweat, whatever these sprints. Come back.
That's when
next
you got to
year,
hit them
so.
with the wolf. They weren't, down at Happy Valley against Penn State and having to get it done.
Yeah, yes.
Not a good argument.
Unfortunately, I think the old 4 year Olympic cadence probably wins out in that one. That's the voice of James Boyd. I'm Kevin Bowen, a sleep deprived Mark Dykton, a nap on your horizon, Mark.
Half coma, I would say, probably.
Hopefully not before 9:55.
We'll see. I've got a lot of liquids to try to keep me
Mark.
upright.
Well, if you need those mushrooms that are shrinking me on the old YouTube camera.
Sign me up. I'll ingest anything at this point.
Hopefully this makes you feel a little better. I do think, and I haven't looked at the list at all, but best play has to have that Caleb Williams play, right? That has to be a candidate.
You would think so.
Yeah.
In playoffs?
I would think
So maybe
candidate. I don't know about the best play of the year.
I don't know, but maybe he will be taking home some more hardware.
I mean, again, I just hate to be prisoner of the moment, but I would think Fernando Mendoza's 4th down run. I would think Jack Hughes' goal in the gold medal. Yeah.
Dang, Mark, I was trying to make you feel better. Here Kevin is just pouring water on everything.
Yeah. Debbie Downer on a Monday morning.
Make sure you shrink his camera again.
When was that play? When did that occur?
It occurred in my lifetime. That's all that matters.
In a regular season game?
Was it? No, that was a playoff game.
Playoff game? Was that the Packers?
No, that was the Rams game.
The Rams game,
And who won the game?
Oh, my God. It's best play, not best play that won a game.
Yeah.
Well, there's got to be some context around this.
Jeez. Oh, let's go to
No.
break. My goodness.
You think the David Tyree play is the David
my
Tyree play? The
goodness.
Giants lose the
Here
game?
we go. Oh, man. Well, you know what?
What?
I didn't know we were visiting the Grinch this
Tyrese
morning.
Halliburton hits a shot. Pacers lose in overtime. No, the fact that you win those games is
So,
why those
Mark, you
plays
don't
My
know
matter.
favorite
this is
play
why
of
I
all
punched
time
Kevin
is the
before we
Bush
started
push.
the show today.
How about that? My
You
favorite
know,
play,
we could talk about
Bush
that on the
push.
side.
Well, you are right, Mark, because what happened? USC won the game. That is the context around that.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
So you would be correct.
That's my
on that.
favorite.
It's good to see that your sleep deprived nature can reference plays that happened in
It
wins.
doesn't even matter if they lost the game. Still my favorite.
Not losses there. Good Monday morning to you, Fan Morning Show here, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Checkdown. Brought to you by Bet365 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Well, it's always a busy Monday on the morning checkdown as we're recapping the weekend in sports. And I guess if we go in reverse chronological order, if you stayed up last night for the Fever, you enjoyed easily one of their better performances of the season. 109-75, a thorough beatdown of the Las Vegas Aces. Aaliyah Boston outstanding on both ends of the floor, and certainly one of the marquee matchups she has individually each year with Asia Wilson. And Sophie Cunningham off the bench, banging home. Was it 6 threes? I think was the final total for her on that. Caitlin Clark, 24 minutes. The minutes did go up a little bit for her as she is back from that back injury. 12 points, 5 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3. 7 rebounds and 6 assists. But, James, that was a pretty excellent performance for the Indiana Fever.
I thought they responded well in that third quarter, Kevin. I want to say they gave up maybe a 7-0 run to start that frame. And at one point, the Aces, I know they cut it to 6 a couple times, might have cut it to 4.
I think it got to 4.
And they responded because I was thinking, oh, boy, here comes the not Fever collapse, because they've won a lot of these games where they've kind of blown these leads, but I was waiting for them to kind of give up the lead, have to fight back, and then we go down to the wire at the end of the game. That just did not happen. They responded with a sledgehammer to the defending champs and honestly looked like a championship team themselves. So that was quite the victory. And their second victory over the Aces, might I add, during their road trip.
So 4 games now until the All-Star break. It'll be the Valkyries coming up Wednesday at 8 o'clock, back-to-back Friday and Saturday. They'll play next Tuesday, and then it'll be time for the All-Star break here for the W. Speaking of breaks, I guess it's an off day for the World Cup tomorrow and Wednesday, each of the semifinals. Tomorrow, it is France, it is Spain. Wednesday, England and Argentina. Mark, you surprised at all? England a slight favorite over Argentina as the defending champs?
I am, actually. I'm surprised by that. I think I would lean towards Argentina.
Argentina playing with fire, I guess, a little bit here.
Yeah.
We saw, honestly, Switzerland, it looks like for a while there, they were a man down and be able to get that game into PKs on Saturday. That was a hell of a goal. Alvarez, was that the guy's name?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Gosh, that was special. Special there, 112th minute to push Argentina ahead. So, again, 3 o'clock Tuesday, 3 o'clock Wednesday. Dallas on Tuesday there for France and Spain. And then Atlanta coming up on Wednesday for England and Argentina. These are the top 4 ranked teams in the entire world. It's very fitting in a World Cup that has had plenty of drama, plenty of stoppage time goals. We get 1 through 4 here to round things out. Speaking of 4, how about 4:30 today? Pacers Summer League action, game number 3. Much better overall team-wise and for Braden Smith individually. Game 1 to game 2. Better in game 2 there on Saturday. So they'll play today. They'll play again on Wednesday. And then usually, James, don't they kind of reseed and you get like one tournament game? One playoff game?
I think it's something similar to like the point differential you'll see during the in-season in-tournament or something like that. So I think that more or less you just want to see Braden Smith look more and more comfortable when it comes to the NBA level. And also, Jalen Slauson is somebody who intrigues me, Kevin. Size, versatility. I'm not saying he's going to be in the rotation, but I don't mind them keeping him around.
Yeah, two-way debates I think you have with some of these guys. I think Slauson kind of fits into that. And he's a little different than Ethan Thompson or Talon Peter or some of the other ones that you're kind of debating about here. On these two-way contracts, it is a middle of July Monday. That usually means home run derby one of these nights. It is indeed tonight from Philly. I do enjoy, Mark, when we get a hometown player. And, I have an affinity for Kyle Schwarber. So Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, I'd like to see one of those two make a run tonight to kind of get the home crowd amped up and keep me locked in.
Kyle Schwarber is the favorite to win, so we shall see. But you have any favorite? You have a pick?
Well, I like the dude from the Rays.
Caminero?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What about the White Sox guy?
Murakami, he's been awesome.
Yeah.
He's been injured, though. So this is interesting because he's coming off an injury, but he's competing in the home run derby. So
anybody you like in particular there? I'm trying to think of that ballpark. Is it really favor lefties, righties?
I would go with Schwarber just because he's close to my heart and everything like that. But also, yeah, he's got the hometown cooking going. He's familiar with that ballpark.
So remember, no clock. They'll get 20 swings in round 1, 15, and then 2 and 3. You keep swinging. You hit a home run, you keep swinging there at the end. So a little bit of a change here to the home run derby in years past. Other items of note, Mark, congrats to your Cubs. I was glad the Reds didn't win the series. I can't be worrying about that during the All-Star break. Oh, here's the tease of your team's back in it, blah, blah, blah. No, too much to worry about.
Had to make
Jeez.
him feel a little bit good on Friday, and then make sure they drop the hammer on him the last 2 games.
Indianapolis Indians 30th anniversary on Saturday night. I was glad that Mother Nature got out of the way for them to have their special night over there. Unfortunately, I believe it did end in a loss, although they did shut out Toledo yesterday over there. What else do we got? Wimbledon, Yannick Sinner, back to back, 4 sets. He gets it done over there on the grass. And British Open week, our final major of the year in golf, will take place later this week. We'll have Will Haskett join us coming up on Wednesday to discuss that. And then we talked a little bit about this with Greg Rakestraw on Friday. It seemed like we were kind of nearing an announcement from Manshawn Sales, the Lawrence North wideout. By all accounts, one of the more decorated recruits we've ever had in this state's history from a football standpoint. Reports that he will announce his college decision on the Pat McAfee show
Oh, okay.
on Friday coming up at noon. Now, McAfee's done this with a variety of high school recruits, right? I think a lot of people were saying, oh, well, he's doing this with McAfee. It means he's got to be going to Indiana, right? Doesn't McAfee kind of do this thing?
I think he's had it a couple times, but I wouldn't mind that theory.
No.
I'm sure the coaching staff wouldn't either.
No, Texas and Alabama, I think some of the other rumored teams there. But yeah, I think Indiana, by all accounts, is a great shot here. So we'll get that news item coming up later this week. All right, on the other side, James and Daniel Jones, little football camp action on Friday. We'll get more from James's thoughts on what he witnessed in the Colts quarterback and much more on the Fever, and certainly one of their best performances of the season that took place last night. It is the Fan Morning Show on a really nice start to this Monday morning here in the Circle City. Thanks for spending with us. Mark, let's get a little weather update as we begin the week.
A heat wave gets underway this week. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 90 degrees this afternoon. And for tonight, mostly clear and quiet with a low near 70. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Well, good Monday morning to you. Again, Jeremiah Johnson going to join us coming up at 9. We'll chat with Jake Arthur at 9:30. Covers the Colts, Locked On Colts, and Roundtable Sports. You and him, James, were both over at Cardinal Ritter High School on Friday for the Daniel Jones football camp. And I ask you this in all seriousness because, boy, I think back to probably about a month and a half ago at this point. I think I said to you, one of these mornings after we watched the Colts in the spring, I go, man, I hate to be the old gate police, and that would be like walking gate police.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, dude, Alec Pierce ain't moving too great, in my opinion. So I ask you this in all seriousness. How was Daniel Jones walking?
He looked fine. And when I say fine, I'm not just saying, oh, it's passable for a guy coming off of an Achilles tear, but he looked like a guy who never got injured.
Okay.
And so that was still kind of remarkable to see. He's about 7.5 months out, or about 7 and a week out from having the surgery. And so everything is going according to plan. He said he got cleared for everything. He's been cleared to do everything. And now it's just about building more trust. And he used the word sharpening his skill set, his movements, and things like that. I did ask, hey, by the way, do you still think about the Achilles? Which I thought he would answer the way he did. He said, yeah, you do. But a lot of that, when it comes to that mental hurdle, won't be cleared until you actually play in a real game.
Here's a little bit more Daniel Jones and just discussing kind of where he is at and maybe what's left, crossing some T's, dotting some I's in his Achilles rehab.
Well, I mean, I think I hit a lot of those milestones kind of pre-mini camp, and I'm doing everything, clear to do everything. I think it's just about at this point, sharpening that, getting more explosive, getting stronger, kind of improving what you can do. But I can do everything and feel really good doing it.
Do you still kind of think about the Achilles at all, or is it still a work in progress?
So sounds like a bigger mini camp upcoming this coming week. Is that right for Daniel Jones? I don't know if they'll have the same theme as Aaron Rodgers mini camp. Mark, a little FOMO there that he couldn't attend the Aaron Rodgers mini camp this past week.
Boo! You suck, is what I would have said.
But yeah,
Go away.
Looked like they had a costume party, Mark, at the Aaron Rodgers mini
Well, that
camp.
doesn't surprise me.
It looked like
Any of his family members attend, do you know?
looked like Michael Pittman Jr. was having a good time there.
Okay.
well, he ain't Mark. So Mark will be over there just making sure he's trying to take out one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. But
No,
it's
that's disgusting for you to say on this Monday morning.
no, I think we talked about this. You said you would rather him just be healthy enough to play but lose.
Yeah.
And
just
stink.
Get his ass kicked
So,
week in and week out.
I respect that. But as far as the Colts purposes go, yeah, Daniel said he's gotten together with some of the pass catchers this spring moving to the summer in spurts. That's the word he used. And then this week, they're supposed to get together for a larger gathering. I didn't have the guts to ask, hey, will Alec Pierce be in attendance? Thought that might be a little bit on the nose. So we'll wait and see what goes down or who's available. And probably hear from those guys. When camp rolls around, we kind of ask, hey, how'd it go?
Oh, that thought didn't even cross my mind. There's no way Alec Pierce would be running full routes, would he?
No, but at the same time, I
mean, I guess he could be there, but
yeah, I felt like it would have been
participating.
a pretty bogus question to be like, hey, by the way, can you give us a health update on the other guy? That's really what the point of the question would have been, but I don't think that would have been the right setting or right way to do it. So I'll hold off. We got 2 weeks until we see these guys anyway, and by then we'll hear from a lot of people. Coach Shane Steichen, Chris Ballard usually talks this time of year as well to kind of not only get a gauge of where the team is, but health-wise, where a number of key guys are. Because at this point, that we both, all of us on this show, on these airwaves, would be shocked or pretty surprised if Daniel Jones isn't ready for week 1. That is the plan. He looks great so far. But now, I think the conversation when it comes to injuries, Kevin, that shifts to Alec Pierce and DeForest Buckner.
Do you have, I guess, one more on the Jones front? 2 months from today, that would be September 13th. That would be your season opener against the Baltimore Ravens. Like, you think full playbook? He's doing bootleg stuff. He's able to get out of the pocket. He's able to, again, to me, I've said this, and I'll say it again for the next 2 months. there's two questions for me. When does he return? And again, I've always thought week 1. Okay, that question to the side. 2, when is he himself? Do you think he's himself September 13th?
See, I was waiting for Daniel Jones to get mobbed for autographs to see how he could evade the youngsters, roll out. That didn't happen because the camp was so coordinated. They had little groups that would go up there and get their signatures or get their photo taken. So I didn't get a chance to see any of the bootleg stuff over the weekend. But in all seriousness, Kevin, I think that a lot of those questions might get answered when we get into some of the joint practices. And even then, I'm not sure if it's better to kind of ease him back into those things, or does the easing open you up for more just, I don't know, thinking or you not reacting like you normally would? Like, if a doctor says he's fully healthy, do you take him at their word? Do you take Daniel Jones at his word and you just go for it and play the game like you normally would? I think that's an interesting cognitive sort of balance you have to, figure out if you're Shane Steichen.
Yeah, it's like how much do you test it before September 13th?
Yeah.
Like, do you, by all accounts, it doesn't sound like he's going to play in the preseason. Okay, fine. Is there anything you do behind the scenes, though? I'm not saying you take off as a red jersey and tell C.J. Allen to go blitz to the A gap and blast Daniel Jones, but do you try to get him to have some unscripted movement? Hey, we're going to have a 5-play series here where, for the most part, anything goes.
Yeah.
We're not going to sack you per se, but like if you have a rusher coming at you, it's 4th and 7. Like you need to make a play here. Do you want to try that? Do you want to explore that? Is that playing with fire? Or would that be viewed as, hey, could you knock off a little bit of that rust? Or does Shane Steichen walk away from that sort of 5-play, 10-play practice session, very likely behind closed doors if you were to do it, and say, you know what? All right, I saw what I needed to. I don't think he's ready for that. When we get to Baltimore and we get to the fourth quarter, week 1, and if it's a close game, I've got to realize that this part of the playbook is closed.
That's a real question and a real dilemma if it does kind of pop up. But like you said, I just wonder how much you can actually push it or how much you can, quote unquote, risk it leading up to the season when it comes to his movements, because you would obviously look like the dumbest team in the league if you were trying to put him through some strenuous training and he ends up having a re-aggravation or the injury reoccurs or some sort of setback before the season actually starts.
So again, Colts report to training camp 2 weeks from tomorrow. Again, 2 months from today is week 1 of the NFL season. Colts and Ravens that Sunday afternoon here inside of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Are you going to run the 40 with me this year?
No.
Last one in Grand Park. Are you going to run the 40 with me? If I give you ample time to warm up, to roll out, I'll bring a foam roller. I'll bring it all.
I'm still wiping tears off those kids' faces that you cut in line.
Nothing's wrong with that. Kids got to learn nice and early that losing is a part of life. And I'm the one to humble them. So leave the kids out of it.
That was pathetic. You had about 10 kids that have been just itching to get up there for the 40-yard dash, and you just cut them all.
They don't even run in the right direction, half of them. It's okay. They're like Max Bowen. They get distracted easily. So when they turn their backs, I got in line. Nothing's wrong with that.
Kevin, are you accepting the challenge or are you not?
40, 40, 40. Now, I say this.
An ice cold blue Powerade if you get it.
Uh-huh.
I told you that the only time I've ever thought about taking something out of our, company fridge there at the end of the hallway was last week when
He's talking about stealing people, but continue.
2 32-ounce blue Powerade. And they look like they've been sitting in there for months. They were so cold.
Got the nice frost on
The
it.
condensation everywhere. Yeah. It was
Blue Powerade on me if you run the 40 with me.
It was like at the movie theater on Saturday. Max Bowen's licking the side of his slushie. He was, he was that obsessed with the slushie. That's when you know you got a nice cold slushie, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're licking the side of it. And, part of me is like, dude, stop. And then I'm like, you know what? 3 years old. Just let him have it.
Yeah. We go to town.
I got emotional with Toy Story 5, Mark.
Was it the potty training device that got you going?
I part about, I don't know, seeing the characters, growing up a little bit there. And I'm like, I don't want to give away too much. But
the dangers of technology. That's
well,
okay.
sure. There was some times where I'm like, oh, boy, are they talking to me directly?
I know.
Yeah, there was a few of those moments. But no, I thought it was brilliantly well done. Very well done.
I told you, 5th time's the charm.
I was going to say, I can see why the Dykens have gone back twice, right?
Yep, twice.
Yeah, excellent work there from a Toy Story 5.
I'm not letting you off the hook with this. If
I don't
you
know. I gotta
force
think
me
about
to
it a little
eat
longer.
Vegemite, which I mean I'm still recovering from, 40.
I just can't imagine getting hurt. And all of a sudden, we got Nelly Bowen crawling, and I'm like, yeah, Maddie, I'm on the mend for 6 months. Oh, why? Oh, because I got peer pressured into running a 40-yard dash.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I might need to amend that because I don't want to feel the wrath of Maddie Bowen. Never met her, but from what I understand, I think she's a fan of the show and James Boyd being on the show. I don't want her blacking one of my eyes, and I got to show you guys what I'm looking like afterwards.
Mark, did you catch James Boyd throwing a little haymaker at me before the show started?
It sure sounded like he was.
And you see what happened in the first segment of the show, Mark? We got the Grinch over here poo-pooing all over the suggestions we make or the ideas we have. That's why I gave him a lick to start the show. Got to start the week off right.
Yeah, what was that about? What prompted that?
I was confused, to be honest with
Well, Mark, sometimes, and I was telling Kevin this actually happens. This is how you know my house is chaotic growing up. And it's even more chaotic now as adults. My mom and my dad, sometimes they'll just walk around and they'll just give a nice little 1-2 piece. Maybe a 1, maybe a 2, just depends on the day, to me and my sister, just to start something. And my mom especially will be like, she'll like give me like a shot in the arm. And I'm like, what was that for? And she'll be like, you want to go? You want to go? You want to go outside? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so sometimes you got to just, set the tone a little bit. A little aggression never hurt anybody. It keeps things, entertaining.
Kevin had to put up this shield all of a sudden.
Well, I was extremely caught off guard, when the Vegemite punch occurred last week, I kind of understood the reason why. I mean, I thought we were easing into the work week here.
No easing.
up.
No easing.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, with my dad, I usually don't have to hit him. I just give him that, that look mark where I'm like, don't make me pick up this phone and call who.
You should have just told him that, you see Conor McGregor? That would be you against Ronda Rousey.
That's what I'm
just
trying
really
to
rile
tell
him up.
Oh my gosh.
Certainly a lot of jokes about the lasting ability of Conor McGregor on Saturday.
Yeah, that was rough. Rough. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I'm never too fond. Like, I've been to like fight parties and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever paid for a fight myself because that would just really irk me.
So that ticket was what? A comma, right? I mean, had to be over.
Yeah.
Had to be.
And how many fights you get before that? Half dozen?
Yes.
And
But
you
you're
have to be
staying
a
up late.
diehard. Well, I'm talking about people that are there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be a diehard
That's a good
UFC
point.
fan to really care or know about some of those undercards.
Well,
do
what's
you
the
not?
UFC pay-per-view go for these days? I don't even know.
Yeah,
100 bucks?
I have
Heck if
no
I know.
idea on that pay-per-view. Yeah, I heard Caitlin Clark chat about, I don't even have a Paramount Plus subscription. That thought never even crossed my mind. So, yeah, 60 seconds and, boy, done for Conor McGregor on Saturday night. Sophie Cunningham in the building as a ring girl, and then, she shot the hell out of it last night from behind the arc. One of the finer performances of the Fever season easily last night against the Aces. You and I discussed this a little bit Friday, and, when I brought up the question to you, not to like read too much into your body language, I thought, there was a little bit of like a wait, what? And then once we started to kind of look into it, there was a bit of like, well, now that you ask it, there's a little bit more evidence here. The question was related to Caitlin Clark and the Fever's record with or without her. And when we discussed this Friday, James, I forget the exact numbers, but the record was like virtually the same. Sample size is like 30-some games over the last 2 years. And again, I think I prefaced to give my own answer to the question. And last night, an example of it, there is in my opinion, a much higher ceiling, much higher potential for this team when Caitlin Clark is on the floor than when she is off the floor. Now, again, when you look at the record, it's kind of weird to see like, oh yeah, they're 20-15 with her and they're like 19-14 without her. It's like, wait, what? You took to social media with that. I saw on Friday afternoon. Did people behave with that response?
Boy, yeah, they were not too pleased with your boy weighing in on this discussion, but I thought it was interesting to kind of look at it a little bit deeper. And I think the conclusion, one of my buddies actually kind of made it, is like the Fever's floor as a team probably isn't that low, or, it isn't necessarily a huge difference all the time if Caitlin Clark plays or doesn't play, but their ceiling is what changes when she does play, as you alluded to. So I think that a lot of the numbers that I threw out there, when it came to their record and things like that, might have given people some pause or whatever. But the one thing that I really didn't get to during last week's show was the records with and without her over the years. And so after yesterday's win, I want to say they're 38 and 34 with Caitlin Clark in the lineup over the last 3 years. In the 3 years before she entered the WNBA and joined this franchise, they were 24 and 84. In the 8 years before she got to the team, they hadn't made the playoffs. Her rookie year, they made the playoffs. And so I don't think that this stuff is like coincidence that she's showing up and things are changing to this degree. Yes, it helped that they drafted Leah Boston the year before. But even then, I want to say that year they won 13 games. The next year they won 20. And then obviously last year, credit to the rest of the crew, Caitlin barely played. And they still were able to win and get to the playoffs and get within a game or quarter rather, overtime period of the finals. So all that to say, I just think it's an overblown talking point to, or not overblown, but like a little bit of a lazy talking point to say, oh, they're better without Caitlin Clark. Well, not really, in my opinion. And I just don't think you can actually get to the promised land, win it all, without having 22 on your team and playing pretty well.
It was funny. Last night, I watched the first half in my living room, and I had to do some Nelly bottle duty during halftime, wash the bottles for today. And so I kind of go in there, and I thinking back on the first half, and I'm like, it's rather incredible how potent they are offensively. Like, I just watched that first half. I didn't even feel like they played like, well, Caitlin specifically, I guess. She's on a minutes restriction. I think at halftime last night she had 5 points.
Yeah.
She had a couple of assists. I want to say 3 or 4. It's not like she had like 8 assists first half.
Right.
And they put up 59. 59 against the Aces. Like in a, again, ho-hum is discrediting what they did, but it almost felt that way watching it.
Man.
And like they have so much potency offensively. Like when Caitlin can go to the bench for 2 separate 5-minute segments in that first half, and boom, Kelsey Mitchell's doing that, and Aaliyah Boston's doing that. And obviously when Sophie Cunningham comes off the bench and shoots it as well as she did last night. But it's not like Lexi Hall's capable of knocking home a few shots. We've seen Mo Billings have a couple of those nights this season. Raven Johnson's kind of been phased out a little bit here, it seems like, now that everyone's back and healthy. So that'll be curious to watch.
But even then, Ty Harris, you can't get mad at them for playing her over Raven. She's been great.
No. I think very deserved. No, that's a good point to make. So, yeah, it's just they are so gifted offensively. And that's what gets back to the defensive, like, you're not asking for the defense to be the 85 Bears.
No.
You're asking for the defense just to be somewhat competent. And if you're able to provide that, and I thought they did a great job on Asia Wilson last night, just forcing her a little bit more to the right hand. And, did you benefit a little bit from the Aces on the second night of a back-to-back? I mean, perhaps, but still very impressive from the Fever last night. So a 3-1 road trip for them. 8 o'clock coming up on Wednesday. I do feel bad for some of the home fans here. Like, I feel like the Fever never play at 7 o'clock. Like everything's like an 8 o'clock tip. And, I'm speaking probably a little bit to like, I don't know, young parents, but still, I feel like all these games are a little bit later than, most, but, welcome to primetime spotlight.
I was going to say, that is a gift and a curse that you acquire when you have Caitlin Clark on your team, and every game that you play, literally every game you play, is on national television. So
like they have a 4-game homestand here to end the first half of the season, if you want to call it the first half. 3 of them are at 8. And the other
seriously?
And the other one's at 7:30.
I got to go to these games. So yeah, I love me a 7 p.m. tip off. 8 is pushing it. But I understand why they do it, and again, it's a privilege because of how many people want to see your team. And I would say, even despite all of the noise around this group, they are still playing rather well. Like you said, 3-1 on their road trip. And I think they've climbed to 5th in the playoff standings. Top 8 teams make it. So they've kind of gained some ground when it comes to the standings.
Again, Wednesday coming up for the Fever. Nothing today. They'll get back to practice tomorrow, and then a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. All right, coming up on the other side, much more on where we are at with the Colts and their off-season. Anything else from the Daniel Jones camp over the weekend? Pacers have got Summer League game number 3 later today. What have we observed so far from them? We'll continue that conversation. If you want to join it, text line is open, 317-239-1070. Kevin Bowe and James Boyd and a sleep-deprived Mark Dykton here on this Monday morning. Thanks for starting your week off with us.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Did The Miz really hit a hole-in-one this weekend, Mark?
Did he? Does that just piss you off every time you see anyone with a hole-in-one?
Now, is that the same Miz I used to watch in the real world back in the day?
Yes.
Man, what a life he's lived.
Been a wrestler for like 2 decades now.
I'd rather watch him than Conor McGregor then.
Brother, that's what my brother-in-laws were talking about because we were talking about the Conor McGregor thing. And I'm like, this is exactly why sign me up for WWE pay-per-views all the time. Because I know I'm not getting 1 minute main events. I don't care if it's predetermined. I'm getting a show, baby. I'm not paying for nothing.
So that was a good night for Mark Dykton is what you're saying.
It was very good. Had pizza the size of like my head. It was awesome.
$8.99. Is that what Paramount Plus is?
Apparently. I don't know. Because when it was on ESPN before, you had to buy the ESPN and then you also had to pay for the pay-per-view on top of that. So it's like an extra like $50. So I'm like, I don't know what it's going for today. But yeah, hard pass on all that. By the way, my brother-in-law hit a hole-in-one like 2 weeks ago.
Whoa.
He lives in Utah, and he sent it on Snapchat, and I'm like, is that for real? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I have a buddy who has never gotten a hole-in-one. He's probably golfed more than most people in their lifetimes, and it eats away at him every single day.
Mark, I want to sit here and say I'm happy for him, but
I was going to say, do you hate him now?
I'm just jealous. Yeah, I don't even know the guy, and I'm just living in jealousy.
Lives out in Utah, and he was just living the life and just golfing all the time. Like, must be nice.
Gosh, it just pains me. I'm not going to lie. It just pains me, Mark. Congrats. I don't mean it.
I'll let him know.
So have you eagled before, I would assume?
I have made an eagle, but yeah, no, nothing on the hole-in-one front, just to reiterate that point that we seemingly bring up quite often.
The goal is to get James to the level of him getting a hole-in-one first. I think that would be the biggest stick in the ribs for Kevin Bowen.
Baby steps here.
Don't worry.
We're trying to get the U.S. goalkeeper to not whiff, and we're trying to get James Boyd to connect with the golf ball. That's where we're at right now. World Cup tomorrow and Wednesday. We're in the semifinal action of that. Have I secured the World Cup draft? Because I have a guaranteed championship opponent here. I have the other semifinal. It's you two against each other, and then it's me against me. Argentina, England. So I'm guaranteed to be in the championship.
Yeah, that is
Are
a
you
good
guaranteed
point.
to win it, though?
Well, I'm gonna have to do some math on that because what do we say? 7 points to the champion.
You were fluctuating the point totals, so I don't. Well, James was out last week, so I don't know what you have it at. You were getting close to my 900.
Yeah. Again, I cannot believe that France is late. By the way, France is kind of a slight. They're a small favorite in this one.
I know.
James, the Spaniards could have something for you here.
I know. Need Mbappe to be at full strength.
And boy, has he looked incredible throughout this World Cup.
Was it an ankle that he was getting iced down, Mark, at the end of the match?
Looked like it. But this is the World Cup, man. You got to be ready to go.
Dallas for that one. That's 3:00 tomorrow. And again, Atlanta for Argentina and England. That will be Wednesday at 3:00. Speaking of kind of your afternoon sports viewing, you'll have the Pacers in their Summer League action coming up a little bit later today. Boy, how about Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero?
Was that me and you this morning?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, that was you. Yeah, that was 100% you to me.
In all seriousness, though, that was crazy. When I saw that notification come across from Shams Charania of ESPN, I had to do a double take to be like, wait, is this the real Shams? Because, there's so many fake accounts these days. But when I click on the profile and it says millions of followers, I'm like, oh, this is real. This actually happened. And so someone has to have the footage of this. It happened in one of those hotel ballrooms that they have the practice courts on, I think. So there's got to be security footage. TMZ, come on now.
So they're not obviously on the same team anymore.
No.
Because usually, and you've been to Summer League, right? Is that right?
I've been to Summer League before.
Because usually, your NBA team will gather for some sort of practices, right?
Yeah. Or like some unofficial workout.
Right.
But usually a lot of the top guys will come through. It's kind of like a little bit of like leisure, but also you might get some side work in. So typically when I went, the Pacers would have about 4 or 5 starters that might be in attendance, and they would all kind of gather for a group workout. But this one sounds like it was a little ding, ding, ding action. So the backstory here, for those who might be confused, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo had been teammates for 7 years together in Miami. Tyler Hero gets traded as part of the package for Giannis to come to Miami. And apparently, this is all because of a leaked DM, Instagram messaging exchange that Tyler Hero had with a fan, where basically Tyler Hero was criticizing Bam being rewarded with a $60 million contract a year annually. So Bam took exception and gave him that two-piece biscuit.
Well, that looked like you to me at 6:55 this
No,
morning.
I didn't go for the shiner. I didn't, I didn't punch you in the face, but man, that was crazy.
You were at the Daniel Jones football camp on Friday, 2 months from today, Colts and Ravens week 1. A storyline that I think there will certainly be some debate on as we reach the latter stages here of July. And actually, they were showing some NFL highlights a little bit earlier of Justin Herbert, and actually a member of the Chargers who caught a Herbert pass or two during those highlights was Keenan Allen. Obviously, the Shane Steichen history pretty well documented between those two. What do you think will dictate whether the Colts add another wideout? Like, could you see them adding a wideout 2 weeks from today? You report to training camp on Tuesday, and then boom, you go. I mean, we do see veteran signings literally happen 24 hours before a team's first practice. Do they want to see Ashton Dulin, Laquan Treadwell, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Deion Burks get a week or two into training camp? Do they want to see the health of Alec Pierce play out? How do you kind of view their urgency to add another receiver?
Well, number one, that'll be a question we all will be clamoring, among many others, to ask Chris Ballard here in a couple of weeks when he's made available, assuming he does like he usually does every year at the training camp. Before things kick off, we talk to him. That'll be a question worth asking. But as far as the evaluation process, Kevin, I think it'll be, if anything, a couple weeks into camp, just because you want to see what you got and see where you are. And I don't mind that. And also when you're dealing with perhaps...
See what you've got healthy, not Pierce related, or see where Pierce is at?
See where, I guess a little bit of both, but you want to see where Pierce is at. But I would probably move towards the latter, being you want to see beyond Pierce what the back half of that group looks like. If, Nick Westbrook-Akine, who had a down year last year with the Dolphins, I believe, but also had a pretty good year, productive year with the Titans 2 years ago, does he have enough left in the tank to kind of, put some of your worries to the side? Is this an opportunity for Ashton Dulin to finally say, hey, I'm actually a receiver and not just this great special teams guy? But to me, it goes hand in hand, Kevin, because you can wait to evaluate. Season ain't starting tomorrow. Week or two goes by. Hey, we're not where we need to be. Let's go get a veteran. And also, I'm not sure that veterans are running to start training camp, especially if you're a proven commodity. Now, I've been on the Keenan Allen train here for a while.
Is he too slot? Like, if you look at his history, it's a heavy slot presence. Is that too Josh Downsy? Like, do you need more of the outside presence if you're trying to look at Michael Pittman Jr.?
Maybe, but at the same time, if you're looking at Keenan Allen, it's a guy who produces. And as much as Josh Downs probably looks at this as an opportunity for him to grow and get his target share up and going into a contract year, the Colts have to win by any means. And so if that means you bring in Keenan Allen and he cuts into Josh Downs' opportunities, sorry, brother, that might just be part of the course.
Yeah, I am. I'll be interested to see, I guess, to go back to your Ballard point, just how candid he will be on that, because I could go in a couple of different directions of like. And, Stephen Holder, I think, has been on this wide receiver train a few times when we had him on back in the spring. And I asked Stephen, a question of like, do you think it's more health-related, Pierce, or do you think it's more our depth chart isn't good enough related, i.e. Michael Pittman Jr. is gone, and you've really filled that with a kind of a journeyman in Westbrook-Akine and then Deion Burks in round 7. Because when you look at the departures, again, 7 of them, I'd say probably 5 of note, like Justin Wally for Kenny Moore. Well, Justin Wally was a 3rd-round pick. C.J. Allen for Zaire Franklin. Well, C.J. Allen was a 2nd-round pick. A.J. Halsey for Nick Cross. Well, A.J. Halsey was a 3rd-round pick. For Michael Pittman Jr., you don't have that. Like, you don't have the highly invested resource like you do elsewhere. So, and I think the Pierce situation complicates it. Like, I was big into edge rush. When we debated this, edge rush, wide out. When we had those debates in the spring, I probably still am a little bit more team edge rush, but I will say wideouts moved a lot higher up on my list, and it has to do with the Pierce injury. You start making an indispensable list of Colts players, I mean, you're going to put Pierce somewhere on that list.
Yeah, that's where, again, we'll all be out there at camp, and we'll be asking for updates and looking with our own eyes to see what Alex Gate looks like, because when he was walking throughout the spring, it was very clear that he was not walking normally. And
But you liked the gait of Daniel Jones yesterday?
Friday, but yes, yeah, he looked fine. It couldn't tell that he was ever injured.
We're on gate watch.
Yeah, I wasn't
Miles Turner's gate. Remember that when he was drafted?
Yeah, oh boy, yeah, that was definitely a big topic. But when it comes to Daniel, the thing that I really wanted to do was just see some of the lateral movement. And of course, I'm not going to see a ton of that when he's out there with a bunch of kids. But even then, the amount of kids that are running up around him, when it comes to, huddling up and trying to drop some plays, just the fact that they were able to get that close and there was not like this real, like, oh my God, don't step on his foot. Don't step on, like, it was fine. Now, granted, he wasn't dealing with a pass rush. It was, the all-time quarterback. We've all done it with your kids at some point when they get older, or your little cousins or nieces and nephews. He was doing a lot of that, but looked to be moving like a guy who never got hurt before, which is just remarkable to say.
James paying off some St. Michael's kid to come off the edge after Daniel Jones.
I told you, I was waiting for him to get mobbed for autographs, and it just didn't happen. The camp was too organized.
Mark, who do we like tonight? Home run derby. I need to lay some scratch somewhere.
I put money on Schwarber. I know he's the favorite, but
so what do we got there? Like plus 300, so
330,
like 10 to win. So 10 to win 33.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever won it?
I don't think so.
Gosh, you would think he's such a slam dunk to have done it at some point in his career.
I know he's competed in it, but yeah, I don't think he's ever won
we
it.
had home, but don't tell me that the guy that bench presses between every at bat is still.
Oh no,
around.
Alonso's not doing it. No,
he exhausted me.
He exhausted himself because he was doing all those push-ups.
Yeah, but I swear he won a couple times. I still got some.
No,
chills.
he won it a couple times, but yeah, he's never.
Thinking back on Todd, remember when Todd Frazier with the Reds?
Oh yeah,
Great American Ballpark when he got hot. I thought that was cool one year when he did. Home run derby will be tonight. Corbin on the text line does a hole in one on a simulator count. Well, that's a hell of a feat. Congrats, Corbin. Great shot.
No. Are you kidding me?
No.
Come on, Corbin. Don't ask those kind of questions here on this Monday morning.
I got a hole in one on Tiger Woods golf in 2001 on EA
Now that
Sports.
counts. That counts.
You gonna bring up Mario Golf next?
Yeah. It's me.
I used to love Mario Golf.
Number one.
I used to love Mario Tennis. No, doesn't count. And I guess thank you to listener Brian. He said the Miz hold out from the fairway. Again, very impressive from the Miz there. I thought his celebration was outstanding. But no, the hole in one is it's different, and it's got to be on grass. I would debate even the occasional par three that if you play, especially at like a par three course with the AstroTurf mat. I don't know. I need some pureness. I need some integrity with this. Can't be having any, Mark Dykton's social media nefarious nature.
Why don't you get your first hole in one before you're talking all this trash over there?
We'll get into our summer what if series coming up tomorrow. We'll get back into that. Jeremiah Johnson, Pacers. Are we still awaiting where we're going to watch the Pacers this season? Is that a question we have to ask, JJ?
I feel like it's a question we ask every year, and the answer is usually...
Am I going to have to get Paramount Plus to watch Conor McGregor last a minute?
I will say, wherever these guys go, just make sure the app works. That's all I ask.
I did laugh at the tweet that said Bam Adebayo got more punches in this weekend than Conor McGregor.
I mean, it's a factual statement. Did you see that he actually took they showed a screen grab above it. He met Mike Tyson last night at the Aces Fever game, and somebody screen grabbed it.
I saw he was front row.
That was so funny because I'm like, of course he's going to meet, Iron Mike after putting some iron on somebody's jaw.
Tell you what, if Bam Adebayo and Asia Wilson produce some children, can you imagine the future of the U.S. center on the Olympic team? Man, we're going to have to be asking Joel Embiid to say no to 3 different countries to play for us, man. We're going to be set. Chet Holmgren's going to be shaking his boots thinking about what the future U.S. Center looks like here. It's always a busy morning check down when we get to a Monday. Mark, let's go ahead.
The Morning Checkdown, brought to you by Suave Men Refreshing Face and Body Wash on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, let's go to last night. Speaking of Vegas, it was quite impressive from the Indiana Fever. 109-75. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston, both ends of the floor. That matchup against Asia Wilson, I thought she really controlled that in emphatic fashion. Kelsey Mitchell continues to do Kelsey Mitchell things. And Sophie Cunningham, what a weekend for her. A little ring girl action at the McGregor fight that wasn't much of that. And she hit 6 threes off the bench. Big time from the Fever, James. Easily one of their best performances of the season.
Yes, I believe Sophie Cunningham tied her career high with 6 made threes last night. And I really had no complaints. They responded after that early Aces run in the third quarter and finished with their most dominant win of the season, in my opinion. So this is the kind of stuff that can really reinvigorate your team and let you know, okay, despite all the ups and downs, all the noise, we can still hang with the best of them and put ourselves in title contention.
So the minute restriction for Caitlin Clark bumped up a bit. It was 24 in total for her. She was on the floor pretty much 5-minute segments throughout the game. 12 points, 5 of 11 shooting, 7 boards, 6 assists, 4 turnovers. She was 1 of 5 from 3, so that will continue to be something to watch here. But I think the hope is once they get to Wednesday, she'll be back in kind of a normal. And then we'll have to wait, James, because Friday, Saturday is another back-to-back. So we'll have to see exactly where she's at here in a week, coming off the a little bit of a up and down road trip for her, at least health-wise. So, again, the Fever completed 3-1 Wednesday, 8 o'clock, the Golden State Valkyries inside of Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Again, Home Run Derby is tonight. If you're looking for some local angle, Mark Dykton has mentioned Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper also here with the Philadelphia Phillies. Boy, again, Mark, I'm stunned to see Wilson Contreras on the Home Run Derby list. I mean, he's got the lowest odds, but I didn't know he had that in him.
I mean, yeah, he's kind of at a resurgence in Boston. Maybe the Fenway Park, distances are helping a little bit out, but yeah, heading to the All-Star Derby.
And the White Sox dude's been banged up.
He's been hurt, yeah. Murakami's been hurt, but he was launching them before his injury. So
yeah, he had a hell of a start to this season. So we're at the All-Star break here. Indianapolis Indians wrapped up their homestand with Toledo. Did see they lost on Saturday night, 30th anniversary. Just glad that, frankly, Mother Nature cooperated. It looked a bit ugly there for long stretches of Saturday. Indians did win yesterday over at Victory Field. World Cup, we are down to 4. You guys are good with the top 4 teams. You didn't want any Cinderella story. You had enough rowing from Norway.
No, I was rooting for Norway, actually. But when Holland went out, I'm like, that's a wrap. That's it for that.
Well, I was annoyed that Erling Haaland's teammate didn't pass it to him. It's like, what are you doing? Had a chance to go up 2-0 on that squad, and he was pretty frustrated by that. But no, Kevin, I think we got a lot of drama so far. Argentina had the crazy comeback to hold off, Egypt? And so I just think that as far as the games itself, I'm totally fine with it. And if you wanted that upset when it came to Switzerland, was it Switzerland and England?
Switzerland, Argentina.
I'm sorry, Switzerland, Argentina. What was the game? Was that the game where the guy dove and got the yellow card and got ejected or whatever?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted an upset, don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, it looked like
So
Switzerland
stupid.
was maybe going to get to penalty kicks there, a man down, but that was a hell of a goal by was it Alvarez? Julian Alvarez, I think was his name. That was a hell of a goal there in the 112th minute. But yeah, you look at Argentina in their knockout round stages. Played with fire with Cape Verde. Same thing with Egypt, as you mentioned, and then Switzerland even, easily could have got to penalty kicks there, but yet the defending champ still alive. So again, 3:00 kicks the next 2 days starting tomorrow. So Tuesday in Dallas, it'll be France and Spain, and then Wednesday in Atlanta, it'll be Argentina and England. So cannot wait for that. Sunday will be your championship match. That's at MetLife. Is that right, Mark?
Correct.
MetLife for that. And is there anything weirder than the third place game?
Not really.
My sports brain can't really compromise that we used to do like the third place thing and like in the Final Four, they used to do a third place game.
Yeah. That's when you're just playing all the backups at that point. Aren't you?
I have no idea. Are you?
I don't know.
It just, yeah, the sports brain in me just didn't grow up with that. So, yeah, I can't say I've ever really pondered too much about Messi suiting up in a third place match, but I guess potentially we might have that. Coming up this weekend, Wimbledon, Yannick Sinner, major number 5 for him. He lost the opening set yesterday, but came back and won the next 3. So that is back to back for him. And summer league action for the Indiana Pacers coming up later today, 4:30 out there in Vegas. I thought Braden Smith much better in game 2, quarterbacked it well. Have you liked watching a little Yuki mania force the 8-second violation the other day?
Yeah, he's just an exciting player, very talented player. And it just lets you know how big the talent gap is in the NBA and also just the size gap. Because if he was taller, I think he'd be a legitimate NBA player. Now he's currently on the fringe of it, but at his size, he gets it done.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of NBA clock here. Again, really, the Pacers Summer League team probably lacks some notoriety from a draft pick standpoint. You know, you got Jalen Slauson, you've got Talon Peter, but, you know, there's not a lot there for them, and they're really small. I mean, I feel like the rink mass, the Nebraska dude, is like all they've got in the big category. But they split this weekend. They'll play coming up later today. Again, that's 4:30 Wednesday, and then they'll have one more game out there in Vegas. I wouldn't think Braden Smith gets shut down for any reason. Again, sometimes you see that with draft picks, but, you know, again, I don't think anybody, frankly, has the clout on the Summer League team to be shut down too early with that. All right, coming up, we'll get to our Colts question of the day. Again, very impressive performance from the Indiana Fever. Could the IU football team be taking home some more hardware later this week? We'll hit on all of that on what is a nice start to this Monday morning. Mark, let's get a little weather update on what I know inevitably is going to be a heat wave upcoming.
A heat wave gets underway this week. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 90 degrees this afternoon. And for tonight, mostly clear and quiet with a low near 70. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
Indoor and outdoor concrete, Galaxy Concrete Coatings, garages, basements, patios, porches, in sidewalks. Certainly, we've been out and about a whole lot, enjoying our patio and Galaxy Concrete Coatings. I think if you head to their website, you'll be very impressed by what they can offer you. Our home about 100 years old, so I was curious, okay, exactly would they have something that kind of matches what we need? We certainly needed an upgrade, but still, from an aesthetic standpoint, would they have it? And they did. And I think you can find that by visiting their website. Again, that's galaxyconcretecoatings.com. It's indoor and outdoor concrete, garages, basements, patios, porches, and sidewalks. You can contact them today, galaxyconcretecoatings.com. They are the best in the business. Manufacturers upgrade the warranty from 15 years to lifetime, and very efficient process. They're in and out in about 24 hours at our home. So again, that is galaxyconcretecoatings.com. Indoor and outdoor concrete.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Rick Venturi listening in. He goes, at one point in the 60s, the NFL had a runner-up bowl, which was a bummer and a failure. I don't know. I mean, I get in the Olympics, you obviously have the third place game or the third place whatever, but I mean, you're going for a medal. Like in the Olympics, we define first, second, third, boom, huge cutoff.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to wrap my mind around that in team sports. Like, are these countries, let's say Spain and England? I mean, I guess, I don't know, there's maybe a continental rivalry there, but like, are you really going to be going nuts if your team gets third?
I think they would, yes. I think that's still a conversation when you finish third in a team sport in the Olympics.
Well, yeah, but the Olympics, you're literally getting a medal. Like, that is a clear divide. Like, we know going to the Olympics, gold, silver, bronze, and then you're forgotten.
Right.
In these, like,
I will never underestimate the rivalries or just the meaning of it, Kevin. I think when
like
you come that far,
Argentina as the defending champ, like, is Messi going to be like, oh man, this third place match, this is it? I mean, this is it for me.
Yes, because it literally could be it for him. Yeah, I'm not.
Mark was asking earlier, should they bench everybody?
Well, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. I think Mark is wrong, which sometimes he tends to be.
Excuse you.
I just can't get behind the old third placers.
I don't think that we have been.
Did you even know a
cultured enough
third place match existed in the World Cup until a week ago?
Well, I didn't know until you told me 15 minutes ago. So here's my expert opinion. But I just think it's different culturally, is what I'm saying. So here in America, we might not give
Even
two
for
bleeps
the
about
elite
it.
of the elite? I mean, we got the
I do. I
four-
think their fans are that nuts. Yes. Yes. Like, they're going to be mad they didn't win at all, but I don't think they're going to be indifferent if their team loses. No, if you lose the third place game, pain. That's where I'm at.
Mark, I forgot to mention your Cubs took 2 or 3 from the Reds there. So let's see what we had.
I already knew. You didn't have to tell me.
Few
I was
textures
aware. I already
reaching
knew
out.
about it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring it up because I figured it would hurt your feelings, or you've already. Are the Reds officially dead? Have you declared that yet, or where
Mark,
are we at
I
here?
declared him dead on Carb Day.
This is true.
I didn't know if you just felt a sudden change, a wind of change.
No. Not at all. Friday was like the one, it's the one time, like, maybe back in the day, you had an ex that might have liked one of your posts or something. Oh, wow. Is the door back? No, I'm not going to fall for that.
Okay.
I'm not some loser.
Well, let's not tie them both together in that way.
Let's get to our goats of the weekend.
Who is the GOAT?
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Or GOAT?
This guy sucks.
Of the week.
Well, Mark is still recovering from some sleep deprivation. So, James Boyd, wherever you would like to go.
Okay. Well, I
Lead
will
us.
start on a positive note. My good goat of the week, or weekend, I should say, is Aaliyah Boston. I think Aaliyah Boston has had a fantastic year 4 in the WNBA, shooting a career high from 3, expanded her game to making 3-pointers. She's made more threes this year than in her first 3 years combined, shooting over 45%. Last time I checked, from 3. Did a great job last night against Asia Wilson. And dare I say, she plays Asia Wilson better than any other big in the WNBA. And so when you have a player that can get to that level against that team, you have a chance, obviously, with the rest of the group coming along with her, led by Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, some great growth really in her game, which, when you have a number 1 overall pick that can take some strides several years in the league, it's pretty impressive to watch. And even last night, it's not like she banged home a ton from behind the arc, but that she's shown a little bit of that here this season. Mark, where would you like to go for your good goat of the weekend?
I'm going to go out east. The Pittsburgh Pirates dropping the hammer on the Milwaukee Brewers over the weekend. A clean 3-game sweep, and it was punctuated by Paul Skeens' 7 strikeouts in their 14-5 win over the Brewers. The Brewers limp into the All-Star game, that lead in the NL Central down to 5. And oh, by the way, they just shut down Jacob Mizorowski for the All-Star game for fatigue. Maybe because he's throwing too many 106-mile-per-hour pitches. So not great for the Brewers right now. I'm sure Joel A. Erickson has a lot of thoughts, maybe a couple tears in that morning coffee. But the Cubs still in the hunt. Maybe the Reds are in the hunt too. Who knows? Let's get wild on this Monday morning.
You could kiss my you-know-what with that comment there. I'm going to be positive here after Mark just tried to bring me down. Saturday, rainy day here in the Circle City. Maddie Bowen, terrific idea. Let's go watch Toy Story 5 as a family. It was excellent. Mark Dykton, your endorsement was well thought of, and I can see why. It was really kind of the first time that I'm like, man, I feel like I'm connecting with the movie as much as my young children are connecting with said movie here. I'm not going to lie. I got a tad emotional.
I know. I'm
at
telling you.
times. I'm watching it, so I don't want to drop any more on the, hints. I did enjoy the Smarty Pants character. I thought that was, I believe that was Conan O'Brien.
Conan O'Brien, yeah, he did a very good job.
Very, very good on that. But I highly encourage it. I think all ages, and really the movie theater was filled with all ages, which I thought was pretty cool to see as well. So highly endorse that for people out there that have not watched it yet. And I think when we had Joe Wrights on, didn't he say he had been
Yes.
a couple of times, if I'm not mistaken? So yes, great flick there. Enjoyed it big time. James, what do you got for your negative?
My negative goat of the week, Switzerland forward, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, Briel Mbolo. the flopper. Your country's dream is on the line. You already have a yellow card. You go down in that match. You dive and act like you were shot in the back. They review it. They see that you were not actually touched in that manner. You had no reason to fall like that. You flopped. They throw you out of the game. And now your team is down to 10 men against the reigning World Cup champions. You had them on the ropes, and they had to play with one less man because you couldn't honor the integrity of the game. I feel no sympathy for you. You should be shamed into oblivion.
Could you imagine if we had flopping in American sports?
I actually think we should bring it to the NBA.
Like, could you imagine if we had the gray area of did you flop? Or I mean, hell, I thought probably Caitlin Clark acted a little bit last night on the old Chelsea Gray moment there. I mean, can you imagine if all of a sudden Caitlin Clark would have gotten some, whatever, flagrant 2 for that? Ejected?
I'm fine with it. Look, there's a lot of things we can poke at and say, hey, they got it wrong with this. But having the ability to go back and look and see if somebody flopped and then penalizing them for it is fantastic to me. And that guy should be ashamed of himself. How do you get to the brink of your dream and you do that? Shows your character.
I just think that's how soccer players, a lot of soccer players are largely wild.
Well, he did the stupid soccer thing at the wrong time, and it might have cost his team an opportunity to advance.
Mark?
All right, follow me along here. Theme park height requirements per ride make no sense. Because we were at Dollywood yesterday.
Okay.
And Nora, you guys have met Nora, my youngest. She's probably like 41 and a half inches. Real close to 42. So this little coaster that had 2 little bumps is 42 inches. Can't ride it. Okay, whatever. Everyone else, I stay with her. She rides everything else. This other coaster, 36 inches. You go launching up a ramp at like 60 miles an hour. She's good to go. How does that make any sense? I'm like,
Mark's
how
heading
are
up
they
to Purdue to
deciding?
meet with some engineers today. And
How are they deciding the height requirements for these? Because the first one, even everybody that came off, like, I don't know how she couldn't do it. That was a baby ride. It didn't do anything. It went like 5 miles an hour. This other one has multiple like elevated velocities going, and she's good to go. Twisting and turning. Went on it like 5 times. Like, she can do that, but she couldn't do that little ride over there. And even the swings in the little kid part, couldn't do that either. I'm like, this makes no sense.
now, did you bitch and moan?
I said, where's Dolly? I need to talk to her. Bring the queen down here.
Well, shout out to Nora. I think that people knew that my BFF Nora needs a little more thrill in her life. She's too tough for that little baby ride you're trying to take her on, Mark. So the amusement park gods knew what they were doing.
Her aunts were like, she's crazy. Like, you're gonna be in trouble with this one because she has no fear. I'm like, that is a problem.
My negative go to the week is the weather. Guys, I sweat through. I sweat through 4 shirts a day right now. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It is. I need to shower 4 times a day. I apologize to those I interact with right now because your boy's thinking about going paper towel in the pocket permanently right now to wipe the sweat off the brow.
That might be the most disgusting thing you've ever said. You put a towel that you're wiping your brow with?
Guys, I'm trying to be honest with you here. Is this not a safe space? Let's go to the weekend.
I'm really not judging it as hard as Mark is.
Sorry, Mark.
Like the guy doesn't shower at the end of the day.
Mark,
I'm judging.
You got AC in that studio over there? I mean, are you just in pristine condition all day long?
I'm judging because, James, he doesn't shower for us most days. And all of a sudden he's concerned, I got to take 4 showers. How about 1 a day for us? Let's start there.
I just need a little paper towel and just, douse it right here and all that. I mean, I'm walking from, whatever, the car to the grocery. By the time I hit the produce section, I'm knees on the hips.
Kevin's the guy that'll be in like the company bathroom and he's like wiping his pits off. And you're like, I just got to wash my hands. What are you doing here?
Well, I've reached that level, but damn, guys, I'm just struggling right now.
So you're ready for camp is what you're saying. Because our shows are going to be hot.
I know.
And you got to run the 40 now.
Yes, you have to run the 40.
I think it's different almost, James, when you're like camp, we're all in the same boat together. Like we're all outside, we're all in it. We're actually, we're obviously watching something where they're sweating 1,000 times more than we are.
Yeah.
But like it's when you're trying to do like the daily activities of like inside, outside, back inside, outside. I'm like, Maddie's like, you should probably bring a sweatshirt to the movie theater. Bring a sweatshirt. So I start with the sweatshirt. I mean, we haven't even watched the first opening credit. I'm already sweating in there because
Are you serious? So I
walked
do
outside.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like on planes and in movie theaters, I always bring a hoodie because it's just so
Not-
cold to
hey,
me.
Not in mid-July.
Fair enough.
Those movie theaters are
I don't
still
judge.
piping, man. Gosh, I'm sweating now talking about it.
Go grab a paper towel at the break.
Smokey the dog on my shirt here is panting a little bit.
I was gonna say, Mark, we started off with him feeling a little different because of the mushrooms, and then now he's getting hot.
He's having quite the Monday.
Am I back to my regular size?
He's
on
hot and
YouTube,
high.
Mark?
You are. You've not grown. You've not shrunk.
Back to my
You're still the
regular size.
same.
It's crazy.
Honestly, the other thing I want to bitch about, and I keep on seeing this damn commercial pop up, is this Pulisic Hershey's
Oh, okay. I was
bar
gonna
commercial.
say.
I'm
like,
done with Christian Pulisic, U.S. men's national team. Get off my TV for multiple weeks. I'm done with you.
That
I'm
is
so
4 years from now,
disgusted.
come back.
I don't need to wait 4 years. I'm not going to be some.
He's the greatest player in our country's
soccer
history, they
snob,
told me.
But I'm done with seeing the commercial, all of it. Get out of my viewing. Let me watch these 2 semifinal games. Get to the championship, and come back in my life when the Gold Cup appears next year or whatever is next.
Jeez.
Boy, I need a paper towel.
God, he is really
I was gonna say you need to lay on the couch.
getting all hot and bothered all of a sudden.
I got to pee too.
Still
We'll
have
be
an
back.
hour left of the show. You better calm down.
Colts question today. Jeremiah Johnson in 15.
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Boy, Ridger, thank you. Yeah. I need the Jerry Tarkanian towel. That's what I need right now. And look at the rest of the week. Mark, you've been doing these weather updates from Amber Hardwick. It's going to be 100.
Steamy. Yeah, it's not good for you.
Brian
Do you bring
here.
like buckets of water for you to like wipe off every break?
Brian goes, I live in Florida right now. I keep fresh, clean sweat towels in both cars. 5-pack for $14. How about that?
Well, send some to the 317.
Hey, I just went to the bathroom.
Oh boy, that's going to really do some damage. That
Paper
one
towel.
ply paper
Just
towel.
a nice, just dab, just a little,
Oh,
no,
my
don't-
God.
What the
just
hell
a
are you
little
doing?
dab right there, and now I'm set for the next, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then I got to shower again.
The
Mark-
secondhand embarrassment of you actually just doing a dab
I
while
know.
dabbing your forehead was something otherworldly.
geez.
It's
I-
called style.
It's called
You
style.
know what, Mark? I believe you still have Maddie's number for
Called style.
reasons that
Should
I
I
don't
text her
understand.
now?
You need to text her and
Should we
say
open
her,
that can of worms all
her
over
husband
again?
is misbehaving. We got to start snitching more.
That
Snitch
makes
on your
more-
friends more.
I think more people agree with me. I don't think you guys are working hard enough if you're not sweating enough.
Well, James,
Well, that's
and
my
you-
goal. I don't ever want to be working hard enough. I have learned in life that I want the job where I get paid the most to do the least. And you all know what I'm talking about. We have all had those bosses that ain't really doing too much and they get a nice little check at the end of the day. That is my dream. I want to be overpaid. I never want to be underrated. I want to be overpaid.
I'll tell you who's overpaid on Saturday night. That would be one Mr. McGregor in the old ring action there. Are they debating if he threw that?
that was some of the talk I saw, yeah. We were debating it.
How much money did he get paid for that?
Oh, I don't know.
Heck, if I know. I feel like
Couple commas.
yeah, and to be clear, this wasn't a pay-per-view event. This was through Paramount Plus, but even then, I never know what the streaming revenue is, what the clear money is. It's not like we can look it up like there's a salary cap with NBA and NFL stuff, but I'm assuming he got a nice chunk of change.
Well, judge this if you will. AI says he earned an estimated payout of 30 to 32 million for his 69-second comeback. His base guaranteed purse for the main event was approximately 15 million, with the remainder generated by pay-per-view revenue shares, promotions, and sponsorships.
Incredible.
Again, I'd rather be overpaid.
Incredible. Jeremiah Johnson in less than 10 minutes. Mark, our Colts question of the day, as we are 2 months from today. September 13th, the Baltimore Ravens in town for the season opener. What do you got?
Over under 2.5 quarters of preseason action for Anthony Richardson.
Ooh. Okay, I'm assuming he's still with the Colts when we're discussing this. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, if he's a Colt through August, hammer the over.
He's got to play, Mark. I think,
Because he got
honestly,
12 of them.
Will he have more work than Riley Leonard?
Oh, that's probably a better question.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
see.
probably a better one, honestly.
If I'm just going to do the simple math, Mark, you got 12 preseason quarters, 3 games, okay?
Yep.
Daniel Jones not going to play. That's the thought, okay? I give 5 to Leonard. I give 5 to Richardson. I give 2 to Easton Stick. And I call it a day. I mean,
Well-
because you have to remember, we just saw Richardson and Leonard split spring starting reps when Daniel Jones didn't participate.
Right.
We're about to get Daniel Jones participating. So that means, assuming Jones is not on some immense pitch count, that means Daniel Jones is going to eat up. I mean, James, you've been to NFL practices for years now. I mean, the starting quarterback takes a ton of them. I mean, can you imagine, like, when the Colts had an established backup, how many reps that backup would get in a practice? You know, a couple of series?
Yeah.
Are you now going to split? Okay, let's say the backup quarterback gets 3 different periods. Well, now you've got 2 guys competing for that spot. So what do? One day Richardson gets 2 of them. The next day Leonard gets 2 of them. Like, basically what I'm saying is you have very now limited practice reps to properly evaluate that competition. Therefore, you have to evaluate it in the games, which I'd argue makes for a little bit more entertainment, frankly, with the preseason game. So, yeah, Mark, 2.5, assuming Richardson is here, which is another debate.
I know.
I'm going to say over, but the unknown of him being a Colt, I think makes for an interesting. If you told me he was a Colt, I'd probably set the over under like at 4.5. Maybe it's a little high.
Yeah, I put it lower because of the unknown.
Yeah.
I would go higher if he was guaranteed on this roster.
Well, I still think even the follow question that Mark had is pretty intriguing of who will play more in the preseason. Will it be Riley or will it be Anthony? And does that sort of lend itself to giving us an answer on who's the backup? Because that announcement has to come at some point, right? Do they have to tell us? They don't really have to tell us, but
No.
will we get an answer? Do you think we'll get an answer on that?
Well, there's part of me, if I'm Steichen, he'll do this just to be vague, but
Yeah.
he also could just be like, "Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I plan to evaluate them heavily in the preseason games, which I think is smart.
No,
You
I
know?
meant, will we get an answer by the end of the preseason going into week 1? Who's the backup?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
I
think he
mean,
would tell us?
No, I guess you could just do the or on the depth chart and then when they announce inactives, right? Don't you have to isolate who your third quarterback is? Don't you have to define that?
Yeah, at some point.
Like literally on game day, I'm pretty
Yes.
sure you have to say like third emergency
Mhm.
QB when you're listing out your inactives there. I got people offering me sweat towels. Yeah, Zach, send them.
Are you a sun shirt guy when you go to like the beach and stuff?
No, should I be?
Well, I don't know.
I don't think you've gotten to that point.
So the long sleeve sun shirt is the thought there obviously protects you from the sun. Is it also supposed to cool you down a little?
I guess so. I think there's some cooling technology.
and
You
in
know
there.
who we
clear,
need?
I don't mind sweating, jumping in the water. Like it's more of I shouldn't be sweating going into the grocery store. That's my frustration.
Just trying to buy some avocado toast. Can
Like,
I
it's
just
like-
go?
Take the kids to the library. Oh yeah, here I am all of a sudden looking for, dinosaur books, and I'm sweating more than, the animals that the T-Rex are chasing.
You've got index cards sticking to you because you're so damp.
Trying to do the scavenger hunt, and I'm dabbing my forehead around the library. You guys didn't like my dab earlier?
That was really
Ooh,
uncomfortable
the
for me to
dab-
witness.
Yeah,
thought it was pretty good.
That actually hurt me a little bit.
Oh, you
I'm
guys
not
are
gonna
just
lie.
jealous.
The cool points
Pretty
just
painful.
plummeted.
You
We
guys
don't
are
have
just
many,
jealous.
but they plummeted.
Oh, speak for yourself. Jeremiah Johnson coming up in 4 minutes. We'll talk some Pacers Summer League next. Andy Moore Group campus in Avon. It is a one-stop shop, 4 different brands: Kia, Volkswagen, Toyota, and Nissan. Affordability, inventory on site. They've got new, they've got used, hybrid models. You want to explore anything on that front, they definitely have that available to you. And I think the nice thing is just right there on one ground, you can compare, contrast 4 different brands, all available to you. So again, it's Andy Moore Group campus. It's in Avon. It's off of Rockville Road. It is Toyota, Nissan, Kia, Volkswagen. Tell them Kevin Bowen sent you.
Get crazy with this thing. Don't you know I'm loco?
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
All right, 9 o'clock hour. Got a couple guests coming up here. 9:30, Jake Arthur. We had a Daniel Jones sighting at Cardinal Ritter High School over the weekend for, I guess, back on Friday for his football camp. So Jake Arthur was present there, Locked On Colts and Roundtable Sports. He will join us coming up at 9:30 to talk a little Pacers right now. They are out in Vegas. Summer League action game number 3 today, 4:30 on ESPN2. He is Jeremiah Johnson. He is with us on this Monday morning. JJ, good morning, sir. How's the summer treating you?
Going great. Just was scrolling through Twitter today, and I saw someone say that in 15 weeks the Pacers will be playing basketball. I know they're playing today, but 15 weeks will be here before you know it.
Let's go. And we usually get what, schedule kind of August, mid-August-y?
Yeah, I would say I get almost about probably 1 month to the day almost. It's usually right around the middle of August where Pat and I are looking at the schedule and kind of shaking off the cobwebs from our sideline guys' hiatus. So that'll be the middle of August. And then once you get to the end of August, then everything starts to feel like it starts to get going again. But it's just so weird, the time difference from last season to this season, because you had not much of an off season, and now it just feels like you should be getting ready to go because you've been off since mid-April.
Am I allowed to ask you how we're viewing the Pacers next season, television-wise?
Well, you can ask, but I don't necessarily have an answer for you.
All right.
I would hope by the time that schedule comes out next month, even though I think about a month ago maybe JMV asked me, and I said hopefully in about a month, and we're at that point. But I have heard some rumblings, but nothing definitive, so hopefully we can let everybody know the method of watching Pacers games very, very soon. That would be great.
JJ, when looking at the early parts of this Summer League experience, what did you think of the way Braden Smith maybe bounced back from a struggling debut to, I think, looking more like the Braden Smith we expected to see in Game 2?
Yeah, I fully expected that. I mean, I didn't watch from start to finish necessarily of Game 1, but, caught bits and pieces, and then, the stat line was probably something that he wasn't, super excited about, even though they did get, the win. And that's probably the stat that Braden Smith cares most about. But then watching just the way he sort of, looked like himself, to use your word, in that game against the Sixers. And what I was just impressed with is the pace, because the Pacers are going to be, I think, multidimensional this year in terms of, playing with different styles depending upon who's on the court. But, whether Braden's playing some games with the Pacers or whether he's playing with the Boom, I think he's going to be getting out and going in transition. And there were so many times where, at least especially in that first half when I was rewatching the game last night, in advance of this interview, the Sixers would make a basket, and he's not going towards the inbounder. He's going the other direction to get that fast break started and almost beating the 76ers down the court. And just having a control of the offense, getting his teammates involved. It'll be a little bit of a learning curve and a progression, and that's expected for someone that's drafted where he was, that will likely be on a two-way contract as all indications point to now. But you'd like to see that improvement from game 1 to game 2, and he is certainly probably the person you're watching the most during this summer league action.
Again, that's the voice of Jeremiah Johnson, Pacers TV. He's with us here on the hotline. Pacers Summer League, 4:30 today, ESPN2, if you want to catch game 3 of them out there in Vegas. Kelly Oubre signing official late last week, JJ. How would you kind of contrast maybe his run here in the NBA, his fit, compared to maybe what we saw with Benedict Mathurin as, I don't know, that lead scorer wing off the bench, if you want to label it as something?
Yeah, sometimes moves happen in the offseason that you're not expecting. And this was one that had been mentioned. Maybe you saw his name floated out as a potential Pacers target and a natural fit when you lost Benedict Mathurin. I mean, I don't remember the interview that I was doing, but it was like, what do the Pacers need to do this offseason? And there was a glaring hole for a scorer, a veteran off the bench, and that's kind of exactly what Kelly Oubre Jr. is. And, I think he can play a variety of different styles, and he's done that in his career. And I think the comparison to Benedict Mathurin is a good one, and maybe a little more, size and speed, but maybe not the strength inside. The Benedict Mathurin is, one of the best finishers you'll find, and just an offensive talent. But maybe to get out and go, you can picture that second unit when everyone's healthy. And I think, Obi Toppin is probably one of the fastest players in the NBA. But on the other side, I think Oubre can get out and run. And if TJ McConnell's pushing the break, or maybe they're mixing and matching some of the rotations with some of the starters, he can play with a lot of different people and has that versatility as well, that you're never fully healthy. I mentioned being fully healthy, but you can insert him in the starting lineup if you've got an injury at the 2 or the 3, and maybe you can play a little bit small, and who knows, maybe play him a little bit at the 4. So I think it was a good fit. Seems to fit in terms of the salary cap. I know Tony East is your guy for all those questions, and I actually listen to his podcast so I can get educated on how all the numbers fit. And, Ted Wu is certainly the Pacers guy that kind of makes sure everything works in that area. So while not knowing all the details, there were some limits to what they could do, and it seems like Kelly Oubre fit in a lot of different areas.
That is the voice of Jeremiah Johnson, the Pacers TV host / sideline reporter. Does a great job. You can follow him on socials at Pacers JJ. JJ, they made another addition with Larry Nance Jr., and I get that he hasn't played a whole lot in recent years, but what do you think of the addition of Larry, as well as, I think, from what I've heard and read, being a great locker room guy as well?
Yeah, it was interesting. You're remembering some slam dunk contests, Larry
Exactly.
Nance Jr., and that's probably not the point in his career that he is right now, but you're at that point in free agency and you're looking at the Pacers roster. It's good to have a good guy, right? And so, for one, he appears to be a great teammate and a veteran. I saw the comparison made a little bit to Tony Bradley. And again, everybody's a little bit different. There's no, exact match, but I think he's going to be someone that can get in there and be physical, maybe go get a rebound in a situation when you need those. And not going to complain if he doesn't get the playing time. So I really liked Micah Potter and what he did, what he contributed. But if you had to make a move, you had to pick up a third, quote unquote center, but also maybe a guy that can play the 4 and be, a little bit versatile in the front court, but also just be a good guy. The Pacers are a team full of good guys, and you're adding one in Larry Nance Jr., and I don't think you need to necessarily overreact and say, well, this is a great move or this is, not a great move. I think it's just it's a Pacer type of move, and it seems like he might fit the Pacers ecosystem well. So, that was one maybe necessarily wasn't expecting. The Kelly Oubre Jr. was one that made a lot of sense and you'd heard a lot about. Hadn't heard this one, but that's usually how it works. Sometimes you get some moves that you're a little surprised by. So this one caught me by a little surprise, but the more you analyze it, it seems like it fits.
JJ, you've been sweating much this summer. I feel like I'm sweating like none other.
Just guess how hot it is.
Yeah. Not to get too personal.
Oh, gosh. Please.
I mean, past years, I remember JJ did some baseball games in the summer. I mean, the man spends a lot of time outdoors.
JJ, please just indulge him. Please. I mean.
Well, JMV loves the hot. You don't like it hot.
No, I mean, I don't mind it, to be honest with you. I just get, it's a little frustrating, I think, at times where I'm like, hey, here I am, like, walking into the grocery, and I'm sweating my you-know-what off by the time I'm like, I got to go over to the cooler of the produce and just stick my head in there for 30 seconds. Take the kids to the library and doing a scavenger hunt. I'm dabbing the brow the whole time.
I know. I usually don't mind the heat unless it's like 3 or 4 weeks in a row, which I guess we're sort of, infringing upon that territory right now. It does remind you that, yes, it is summer. You have that fall air that maybe is my favorite time of the year when you start to have football games and it just gets right around 70 degrees. So I look forward to that, but you appreciate that more when you earn it by a little bit of this heat. So I guess I haven't complained too much. It hasn't bothered me as much, and I probably could use a little bit of sweat in the next couple of months to get in game shape, if you will.
Well, you are always in game shape. He's ready to go here about a month from now. Hopefully the NBA schedule. We'll wait official word on exactly what it looks like for viewing the Indiana Pacers coming up this upcoming season. Jeremiah Johnson, Pacers TV, with us here on this Monday morning. JJ, stay cool, my friend. Always enjoy the chats. Thanks for making time for us.
All right. Again, it'll be here before you know it. So fun to talk Pacers and look forward to watching a little Summer League action this afternoon.
4:30 today, Pacers and Raptors Summer League action, ESPN2. Did you guys catch the video of the Bison tossing that tourist?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was honestly, I felt bad for that guy. I guess he was like in his 70s or something like that. Launched him 8 feet in the air.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that was scary.
Is homeboy all right?
I don't know. They said he suffered some serious injuries, which not surprising given the.
He was up there.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They always say don't get out of your cars and all that. I guess he was like a nature photographer of some sort or whatever. But it's like those are wild animals, man. They just because they see cars go by every day doesn't mean they're used to anything.
It was kind of crazy. Like I'm watching the video and I felt like he kind of circled around those trees. I'm talking about the human in this case. I felt like that would distract the. I mean, I know nothing, obviously. I thought that would distract the Bison enough.
Man.
I mean, that was some pretty good coordination by the Bison to continue to kind of work in small area. Boy, if the Colts get linebacker play like that Bison this year, they could be onto something.
That was scary. Very scary.
Yeah, I hope that guy's all right. Speaking of that, Jake Arthur going to join us in 15. You know what? One thing I want to throw Jake's way, he covers the Colts alongside James and I. Obviously, we'll get his observations from the Daniel Jones football camp over the weekend. But, I remember, James, that Friday night when the Colts had their 2 picks back in April. Jake was a big fan of the A.J. Halsey selection, was not a big fan of the C.J. Allen selection. So I kind of want to go back to, that night and just get a little – and Jake loves to study the draft and all of that and just kind of get his thoughts on – why he had, those specific opinions kind of entering the draft. And then, what, if anything, has maybe changed or evolved from that there, because obviously those two are going to play, by all accounts, some massive roles for them this coming season.
Yeah, I would agree there for sure. And there is nobody I think that's more on top of it when it comes to our beat. Really, we have a lot of great guys, but Jake is all over it literally every single day. That's what the value is when it comes to Locked On Colts podcast. And so looking forward to talking to him more about what he sees, what he's digesting. And it was good to see him in person, too. We were both out there sweating, if you must know, Kevin, at the camp. And we were all kind of like, boy, this is a little preview of what we'll get in camp.
Now, full transparency, Mark Dykton did share during the break that he was hoping that Aaron Rodgers met that bison when he had his little gathering with Pittsburgh Steelers
But
players
not just
recently.
once, all every week of the NFL season.
Now, it did look like Rodgers they were somewhere rather remote, it looked like, in the background of those pictures there, which I would assume Michael Pittman Jr. probably loved. Pitt's a big outdoors guy.
Yeah.
Did Pitt keep his farm here? Wasn't he looking for like a farm manager up there? In
I
Boone
think he
County?
was.
When he was
I
on
mean,
with us, he was talking about how he was, torching the weeds and everything like that.
He must have kept it. There's just no way you can get rid of something like that.
So
No
you think,
way.
You think then he retires here one day? Like
I could actually see it.
to that point? Doesn't Carson Wentz still live here?
Well, I don't know. That might be against the wishes of the late,
Well,
great Mr. Irsay.
Oh, gee. That's not, yeah. I go there.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Steven making the IU joke here. He goes, that guy must have had an Alabama or Oregon shirt on for the Bison to do that. I forgot that Indiana's adopted a little bit of the Bison.
Jeez, you guys are brutal. Oh, man.
I feel bad. ESPY's Wednesday night. I think IU should be, I think they should win Team of the Year, but I just feel like when you fall in these Olympic years, I mean, it's going to be the U.S. hockey team, right? Don't tell me the Knicks are going to win it.
Nah, nobody's trying to hear that.
Or the Dodgers or, some of these other.
Although, I don't know. The Knicks have a
Seahawks.
lot of.
Well, who is the ESPY's purely a fan vote?
Is it? I got to check and see. See, I don't know the rules to the ESPY. I just show up and watch it and try to enjoy.
Indiana football up for Team of the Year. I believe Fernando Mendoza, I think they already announced it as one college athlete of the year. I still remember a couple of years ago when we interviewed Caitlin Clark. We had her on the show during her rookie season, and we taped the interview after a practice one morning over there at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and their PR staff was like, hey, she'll be a few minutes. She's currently recording an acceptance speech to the ESPYs, and then after you guys, she's meeting with some execs from Nike that have flown in. So I've never felt more properly placed in my life. Honestly, Mark, the only time that I feel like we could equate to her was when she referenced being down on the tables last week.
Yeah. Someone needs to follow up and ask her if she's up now.
I was a little disappointed last night that no one did that.
By the way, the ESPY rule, the nominees in each category are curated by sports writers, broadcasters, and ESPN executives and athletes, while the final winners are decided by the public vote.
Yeah, so I was looking through Team of the Year. You have the Aces, the Dodgers, Seahawks, Knicks, but it just, USA Hockey. Remember, overtime game.
Hughes, Jack Hughes. Come
USA
on now.
Canada,
Hellebuck
that's
standing on his head.
That's no brainer, right?
You'd think.
But I don't get why best coach or best manager isn't a thing anymore. That to me should still be an award.
Yeah, that seems like an odd choice to leave out.
And I think Kurt Signetti would be super deserving of that.
Terry Francona of the Reds. Yeah, there's plenty to choose from.
Kiss my ass.
What? What's wrong?
Love to see that Bison get a hold of you.
Seriously, prayers up for that man, because I thought that was AI when I first saw it. He got launched so high in the air. It looked like a cartoon.
Well, and I got nervous. When he started running around, I'm thinking to myself, I think he might dodge it, but then I'm thinking, oh boy, that Bison is just, boy, yeah.
My thought was, where'd the grandson go? Did he go up in a tree? Where'd he disappear to?
What do you do? Picture yourself, Mark. That's you in that instance. And for some reason, the car is nowhere to be found. Are you just sprinting up into a tree?
Trying to.
When's the last time you've climbed a tree?
Oh, I can climb a tree. We went to Turkey Run.
But no, he's asking when's the last time you did it. Though.
Yeah, when's the last time you did it?
That's a serious question.
So you're in Turkey Run climbing trees?
This is for
hey, 40-year-old man, grow up, get out of the tree.
Life-saving tree climbing. Because in the ladder, it's been 0 times. I've never had to climb a tree for my life. But for pleasure, sure, I'll climb a tree.
Well, I don't think that's much pleasure that I saw in that video.
No, I'm playing dead or I'm climbing a tree. Or I'm throwing the slower person in front of me. Take the kids, not me.
Now, was that a little fight or flight? Do you think all of a sudden you have adrenaline in your body you've never had before, and now you're up that tree faster than a squirrel?
I can come down now. Oh, wait, the brown bears are gathering now.
It looked like somebody was trying to be a hero there and like kind of drive their car into, try to blockade potentially that bison. That looked to be a part of the. I don't know. I mean, do you jump on top of that car?
Take me away, stranger. I think it just riled the bison up even more because then the bison's like, what's this noise? I'm charging at that thing.
I saw Chad Ochocinco reacting to it online. He was saying that it's all about the feet, and I guess Grandpa didn't have enough lateral quickness. But I'm like, that's pretty critical to say of a guy who's 75. Like, I don't know too many 75-year-olds who are able to move left and right pretty swiftly.
He had some movement.
He was moving good.
He was moving better than I thought.
No, seriously, that fear will make you move, but clearly,
yeah, I mean, I guess it is, right? Isn't that what they say? You got to move laterally. I mean, what the hell do I know? I would have been eaten alive.
So can I say this real quick? I was actually listening to the update on this after the Fever game went off last night, local television, and they're going through like the recommendations of what you should do when you encounter a bison. Like, you should stay 25 feet away. You shouldn't stay in one spot. You shouldn't follow them. And the last tip was, if they start coming near you, you should run. I'm like, wow, that was great insight. Of course, yes. Common sense should tell you should run. And he did run. Just unfortunate how it ended.
Yeah, I know. I should probably stop bringing it up because I feel like, I hope the man's okay.
No, seriously. That is a serious
he was
statement.
Flown super high in the air. All right, Mark, let's awkwardly transition to a morning checkdown.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Well, the Fever played great last night. Easily one of their best performances of the season. They led throughout. The Aces made a little run there early third quarter, but that door was pretty emphatically shut. Sophie Cunningham, tremendous off the bench. Aaliyah Boston, you consider she's got to circle this one on the calendar when she sees Asia Wilson. Really, really good on both ends of the floor. And Kelsey Mitchell, you cannot take for granted how unique and consistent of a score she is. 109.75 for the Indiana Fever. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that is a victory that I think can reinvigorate your squad and let you know, hey, we are a championship caliber team, because the Aces are, I think, still in first place in the WNBA. So very impressive stuff. I got no really complaints about last night's game at all.
We'll get more maybe on the other side, exactly what it looked like for Caitlin Clark last night. Again, the Fever now back at home. 3-1 road trip for them, 4 at home before they hit the All-Star break upcoming. We're down to 4 in the World Cup. France, a very slight favorite coming up tomorrow. One thing to know about Spain, when Belgium scored the other day, that was the first goal Spain has allowed in this entire tournament. So, when you think about what's left here in the World Cup, I mean, we've got 2 just great matchups, and certainly Vegas would indicate that. It is kind of unusual to, picture a Final Four in any sport and see the matchups this close, and we really have that. It's 1 versus 3 in the world. That is tomorrow. France, Spain, 3 o'clock from Dallas. And then on Wednesday, 3 o'clock from Atlanta, it's 4 versus 2 in the world. I list 4 first because England is actually a slight favorite over Argentina coming up on Wednesday. Boy, we've watched a lot of this. How about Jude Bellingham for England? Man, I know a lot of people talk about Harry Kane, but hey, Jude has been sung for deserved reasons.
Yeah, did you see it? He was kind of, I guess, going at it with the manager or the coach.
I kind of like England's coach. He's kind of fiery.
Yeah, and I like that. The player felt comfortable enough to kind of fire back. Said, hey, coach, you ain't been out here in these trenches. We've been out here fighting. But overall, I think sometimes as fans, and even when it comes to media or coaching, you can sometimes be so critical of like how you get something done. But at this point, is anybody complaining about how you do it as long as you get to the Final Four and you get to this stage? So I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty.
So again, Tuesday and Wednesday here for our semifinals of the World Cup. Pacers Summer League, 4:30 today. It's game number 3, ESPN2, if you want to set up any sort of recording device for that. Major League Baseball, Mark, congrats to your Cubs on beating the Reds in a series. Did I see the Brewers got humbled?
Swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Boy, that's a little shocking.
Throttled on Sunday, 14-5.
To see, so the Cardinals lost So the Braves there. So we have reached home run derby status here tonight. Remember, it's no longer a timed competition. It'll be swings. So I believe it's 20 swings each in round one, then 15 swings in the subsequent rounds after that. If you do hit a homer on your final swing, you can keep going there. So a little bit of a change from the clock that we've had in years past. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper competing in their home stadiums coming up tonight. Shout out to Yannick Sinner. That is major number 5. That is second straight Wimbledon for him. Mark, you consumed none of it, I assumed.
Zipped.
What a hater. I dabbled a little bit. Like
Did
see
you dabble a
greatness.
little? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
got to see greatness on display.
Does feel like
I don't want to
Jan-
be like Mark and just let greatness pass me by.
Greatness on display was driving overnight through Tennessee to be here with
Oh,
you
you're
guys.
the real athlete here.
That's greatness personified.
I will say, I appreciate
Why
you
didn't
coming
you guys leave earlier?
The kids were having fun.
Because he
with their
can't say
cousins.
no.
Yeah. I'm a
See,
sucker.
they need-
Now, were you in Gatlinburg, Mark?
Yes.
Did you go to Anakista by chance?
We did not. That was on their agenda. They were staying for like 10 days. We were just there for a couple days, but they were going there. But we drove past.
Boy, I can see why people do the Gatlinburg thing
Mhm.
a lot. We did it back in spring break, but yeah, I had a blast at that Anakista.
Yeah, that's on the agenda next time. But we did the island. We did Dollywood. So we had a good time.
That drive is no joke.
No, it isn't, especially through the mountains when it's raining and foggy all night.
Yeah. Oh boy, that was no
Mark,
joke.
just call Uncle JB when the fun needs to stop. You know, I can get things done.
Nora, wind it down.
What was my dad's favorite line was, hey, take it easy. That was always his line. Take it easy up in here.
Watching James punch me to start the show, I'm sure it'll be a nice.
He socked me too in one of the breaks. He's got some built up anger today.
I'm sure it'll be a nice, disciplinary behavior here from Uncle
Nah,
James.
seriously, I'm the worst. My god kids get away with everything with me.
We do have a recruitment announcement locally. Shout out to Lawrence North wide receiver Monshawn Sales. He'll be announcing where he's going to play in college coming up Friday at noon on the Pat McAfee show. That is easily one of the more heralded recruits we've ever had in this state, certainly for football. Seemingly the list thought to be Indiana, perhaps Texas, Alabama. I believe some family history there with Bama. So we will see where he decides to play his collegiate football. But very decorated recruit there from Lawrence North High School. We'll make that announcement coming up on Friday. All right, a little more on Caitlin Clark and her minutes restriction, how she looked last night. We'll do that coming up on the other side. Fan Morning Show here on a Monday. Thanks for starting your week off with us. Let's get a little weather update from Amber Hardwick.
A heat wave gets underway this week. Mostly sunny skies today with a high of 90 degrees this afternoon. And for tonight, mostly clear and quiet with a low near 70. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Amber Hardwick for The Fan.
Hey, it's Mark. Hot and steamy this week. That's what we're looking at. Kevin's already sweating through his shirt. You don't have to do that as long as you give the folks that love heating and air conditioning a call today. If you have any concerns about your HVAC system, maybe not running at the high efficiency that it should be, give them a call. Do what I did. 317-353-2141 or online, love-hvac.com. Set up a house call. Let them check out what you're dealing with, whether it's a tune-up or a full-blown replacement like I needed. They are Heil certified dealers. They can take care of you, and they can also go over financial options if you need to. They replaced mine 2-decade-old system with brand new Heil equipment, and we haven't looked back. Seeing those dollars roll off the monthly bills. Thanks to John and Chris Love, who are fourth-generation owners. They'll make sure you're a satisfied customer, just like the Dykton household is. Plus Love Heating and Air. Family owned and operated for over a century. That's how long they've been serving Indianapolis and Central Indiana. That number again, 317-353-2141 or online, love-hvac.com.
Here we go again.
Bad Boy South.
Ghettoville, USA.
Block Entertainment.
You know I go by the name Nitty, right?
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Go by the name of Jock.
Young Jock.
Not going to do the young jock. You did the dab earlier. Say that again.
I'm going to save this for Grand Park. Opening day at Grand Park. I've already dabbed today. I don't need to be doing it all.
Okay, respect.
You're already sweating through your shirt once. You don't need to double dip.
Well, good news.
You and this crinkled up piece of paper.
Look, got
One
paper
ply
towel.
paper towel is not doing the work you think it is.
Perfect for the brow.
So are you getting these towels delivered to
Yeah.
the station?
Shout out to listener Zach. Yeah. Yeah. Him and I have exchanged some notes here. So, yeah, sounds like we will.
Notes is great.
Yeah. Like my sister-in-law gave me this hat for Father's Day. Nice hat, right? You guys think it looks decently cool? And I was like, well, I don't want to wear it outdoors. I don't want to get the big old, sweat stain on it. So I've, had to save it for inside.
You have indoor hats and outdoor hats?
Pretty much. Do you want, now, you aren't a big hat guy, are you, Mark?
I was rocking one yesterday.
Like if you're sweating through, are you going to wash the sweaty hat?
You can?
Yeah.
Sure.
I've definitely dabbled in that. No judgment there. I highly encourage people to wash the hats. I actually bought one of the hat plastic things for like $10 to put the hat in.
But Jake Arthur's riveted by this conversation. He's like, I'm so glad I'm joining right now. Talk about hat washing.
I think Jake would empathize with me. Jake, I've been bitching and moaning that it's too hot, man. I'm sweating way too much right now. I'm sweating going in the grocery. I'm sweating going into the library with the kids. I mean, what am I doing?
I agree. You guys have brought on the perfect person, though, to segue into excessive sweating. Like, we could talk about this all day long.
I knew
That's
this.
like me my whole life.
Look at this. I knew this was a great idea. And Jake, from what I gathered, it was a sweaty Friday afternoon at the Daniel Jones football camp, was it not?
Oh, yeah, it was. There was a lot of stationary movement, if that's a term, under the very hot sun. And then Daniel Jones arrived, and we got to talk to him a little bit.
How'd the gate look? And I do say that in all seriousness because I feel like you amongst, all of us in the spring, we started to get a little look at Alec Pierce, and it was like, oh, boy, that gate's a little bit, whatever, a little bit hindering for where he should be at right now. How did Daniel Jones look to you on Friday?
No, I mean, I think he seems to be moving pretty fine and everything. I didn't, during practice and everything, during OTAs and mini camp, I didn't notice anything too drastic. But, I mean, just him walking around and everything, it seems fine. And honestly, just, you look at a guy physically, sometimes if there's been an injury to an area, it might look like underdeveloped to its complement on the other side. But I think his legs look normal. And, I mean, this just seems like a guy who I think we're all expecting him to be, a full participant at some point early in camp. And obviously by week one, I think we're just kind of waiting on us to officially see him out there taking full reps.
Again, that is the voice of Jake Arthur. You can follow more of his work with Locked On Colts as well as Roundtable Sports. This from listener Nick, Jake. Jake Arthur's rise isn't talked about enough. I remember reading his fan posts on the right side of the old Stampede Blue blog back in the day. This had to be around 2011, 2013. Jake's writing has always stood out, and his dedication, talent, and drive have gotten him where he is.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, that's very nice. I really appreciate that.
People love you.
Boy.
So, Jake.
Yeah, we don't talk about me enough. Let's go.
See, there we go. There we go. See, he's losing that humble nature, Nick. But no, in all seriousness, Jake, you do a great job. Always gracious with your time when it comes to Colts fans, and really Colts media as well. So, kind of piggybacking off of the availability that we had briefly with Daniel Jones that kind of gave us a preview of camp because it was hot out there. What did you think of his remarks in regards to saying he was sharpening where he is when it comes to his Achilles, but also slipping in there, hey, he's been cleared for everything?
Yeah, I think that's really just the good news is it doesn't seem like there's any like specific checkoffs really for him. It's just at this point, like he's doing everything he should be able to. It's just about at this point making it look stronger and more explosive. It doesn't seem like there is anything he's being kept from doing. It's just about getting it back to where it was before, or I'm sure in his perspective, hopefully, better than it was before because he's never really had to work on something like this specifically. But yeah, I think that's really encouraging. I'm very curious, like what the timeline is to get him back to what he would consider to be 100%. Like, should we expect it to go into the season where, he is not feeling like 100%, but my thing with it has been like when Shane Steichen calls plays like bootlegs and things that are very dependent on Daniel to get to like a specific mark on the field at a certain point. Like, is he meeting those demands? Like, I'm curious to see what that looks like in training camp.
So, Jake, did you have any inkling like I did to maybe throw a kid $5 to rush the passer just to see how he's moving back there, or you not a degenerate like me?
Yeah, we saw some of those kids running races and everything. They did like a gritty race and everything. So throw some kids some money. You know, we talked to Daniel about those like unexpected movements and everything. There's nothing more unpredictable than a child. So just throw 5 kids out there at him. Like, let's just see what it looks like.
Yeah, and much safer than that bison we saw make the rounds here on social
You
media.
guys saw that too? That was crazy.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully, the old fellas okay after that. Jake Arthur, Locked On Colts and Roundtable Sports. You can find his work is with us here on the Payless Stickers Hotline. Jake, I mentioned this earlier to our audience, and I'm curious your thoughts now, a couple months into their respective, very young, of course, NFL careers, but you obviously study the draft like none other. Your emotions on that Friday night of draft night. You were a massive fan of AJ Halsey. Like when the Colts made that pick, your emotion was quite evident. CJ Allen, you were not so much in that camp. Could you kind of fill our audience in on why you felt that way about those two individual prospects and, you know, how you kind of view them, I guess, a couple months now into their careers?
Yeah, so Allen, obviously I wasn't over the moon about that one. There was other guys I liked more, you know, thought maybe offered higher upside. And to me, just watching C.J. Allen initially was just really like watching a younger version of Zaire Franklin. And I just kind of felt like if you're going to replace a guy like that, you might as well kind of shoot for the moon with someone with super upside. But as I've watched him more and we've heard more about the Colts' perspective and just stuff like that, like I see where they're coming from. They want kind of like an ultra alpha male leader guy at Mike linebacker who, you know, just studies his tail off constantly and is just a consummate professional. You know, my big concern with him was there's really very few playmaking numbers from college for him. Now, he's a good run defender. He can sniff out stuff at the line of scrimmage and behind it and everything. But, you know, for a guy who played as much as he did, there's really not a lot of pass breakups, interceptions, forced fumbles. Like, he just kind of was a guy that racked up tackle numbers. And I think you really want to find a guy that kind of creates plays. And so I think the first time we talked to Louis Anarumo after the draft, I asked him about that. I was like, he's always been very solid in run support, and he's always where he's supposed to be, but there's really not a lot of splashy plays there. And, you know, Lou said he thought they could kind of take him to that next place, and that he'll get there, and that's something that can still kind of develop in his game. And then I saw some reps and coverage when I rewatched him too that were really encouraging. Like there was one where he had to like stop on a dime a couple different times while he was covering this slot receiver and had to like totally contort his body around him to break up this pass. And I was like, oh, okay, this guy might be fine. So I've come around to him more as the pick was made. Halsey, though, I've always been a sucker for like really smart safeties who like hit hard and everything as well. And I actually got the benefit on this one of him being a good athlete because I feel like those guys I usually like in the draft are really poor athletic testers. But Halsey he's got really good instincts. It seems like he always recognizes what he's seeing, which allows him to play really fast and really comfortable and confident. That's why he makes so many plays on the ball. He hits hard. You can line him up in the slot, free safety, strong safety. He's just really, really versatile. And the cherry on top is he takes the ball away, and it's like second nature to him. You see some safeties that are like really opportunistic, and like if the ball comes to them, they'll get it. But he is a guy who proactively goes and takes the ball away. And being lined up next to a guy like Cam Bynum, who's kind of similar in that aspect, like I think it's incredibly valuable for the Colts. And if you have like Sauce Gardner and Mooney Ward healthy on the outside throughout the year, which obviously that's a leap of faith to say that, but those guys in man coverage, if quarterbacks avoid them and they have to throw the ball over the middle of the field, and you have two safeties that are incredible playmakers like that, then the Colts could be a team that are like top 5 in takeaways this year.
Definitely more playmaking on that side of the ball needed after last season. Last season was way too bend but don't break for a defensive coordinator that does not want to be bend but don't break. Jake Arthur, he is with me on our pit region right now, and I appreciate that. It's one of the many reasons why I enjoy Jake Arthur. Jake, we'll be sweating together here in a few weeks, brother.
I cannot wait. Those hot Westfield mornings.
Westfield, where we will be. Thank you, Jake. Right there, Roundtable Sports, Locked On Colts. That's where you can find Jake Arthur's work. What was the minutes restriction like for Caitlin Clark? We'll round out things here on this Monday morning. Share that from last night. And what was an impressive Fever victory?
This is the Fan Morning Show with Kevin Bowen and James Boyd.
Well, sounds like an announcement coming from Jake Query here in a few. Again, Fever traveling back late last night, 3-1 road trip for them. James, we did see Caitlin Clark, 24 minutes for her. What do you think of how she looked as she is now, I guess, second game back from this back absence?
Well, she started quick. That step back 3 over Asia Wilson, the 4-time MVP and reigning Defensive Player of the Year, was no joke. That was quite the shot. But I thought overall she was a little careless with the basketball. Some of the turnovers, I don't even know if it was back related, just some of the reads she was making. I was like, I don't know if that was the best decision there. Had 4 turnovers, I think, yesterday. But movement-wise, she looked fine, Kevin, and I thought she actually got downhill a lot better. And I think that's a theme throughout her game this year in particular. She's been able to turn the corner and get to the basket and get to the rim a lot more than in years past. And I think that teams really put themselves in bad positions defensively when they press up on her, especially when they do it from the full court perspective, because as soon as she gets you on your hip, you're dead.
Yeah, she, I guess, hasn't shot it great from 3, really, if you look at it here in her last couple of games in particular. But, yeah, I do think her driving ability, she had a couple of those last night. I think she was kind of frustrating Jewel Lloyd on a few of those drives there. But, we'll see how the rest of the week plays out. Again, practice tomorrow, Wednesday, they'll play, and then back-to-back Friday, Saturday. So, I guess, in particular, I'm curious about that Friday, Saturday. When you get to another back-to-back, the All-Star break is next week. Do you push it this weekend? Do you see where she's at? Or do you sit there and look at Friday or Saturday and kind of play it by ear there? It's the Liberty for one of them, right? Isn't the Liberty either Friday or Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Saturday. So you would think just from a marquee standpoint, that one would be a little bit more. But we'll see how they handle that here upcoming this weekend. Yeah, it's Seattle and New York. So if you look at the quality of opponent, Eastern Conference opponent, et cetera, that would be New York coming up this weekend. All right, thank you to Jeremiah Johnson and Jake Arthur. Jake Query, you got a big announcement. Did I just hear that right on the old tease right there?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, interesting here.
That's accurate.
Any tease, or I feel
Well,
like
you said you had Jake Arthur,
Yes.
so that means 2 Jakes one day,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
0 major, and I'm not dismissing the WNBA, of the major 4 sports, 0 sports, one of the 2 days, right, of the calendar year. We got a 2-1 announcement. We have a big announcement that involves 2-1.
Okay.
Look at that. It's typical Jake Query fashion. Starting the week off in pure Jake form.
I
He's got
haven't
this.
slept in 3 days, so it's going to be a
You sound like
wacky
Mark
one.
Dykton. He's got you from 10 to 1.